all your dreams. Eyes wide open now, truth you can't disavow. Echoes through the halls, crashing all your walls. Truth seekers, exposing the truth. Truth seekers, coming for you. Uncover the lies, open your eyes. Shadows try to hide, no place for them to bide. Light will pierce you through, reveal what is true. Running from your fears, can't escape the sears. Truth will hunt you down, tear apart your crown. Truth seekers, exposing the truth. Truth seekers, coming for you. Uncover the lies, open your eyes. Eyes wide open now, truth you can't disavow. Echoes through the halls, crashing all your walls. Truth seekers, exposing the truth. Truth seekers, coming for you. Uncover the lies, open your eyes.
Greetings and salutations, friends. It is time for the Wackadoo of the week. And I'm even wearing my blue rooster chicken shirt because I believe that Jason Sands stole parts of his stories from Corey Goode, which is ridiculous because we know Corey Goode just made up his stories. And for those unfamiliar with this week's Wackadoo of the week, it follows the typical UFO disease pattern. And what do I mean? Well, when Jason Sands first came around, well, first of all, he was hiding in the UFO community, but though participating in things like panel shows on UFO shows under a different name, and never mentioned that he assassinated an alien in a cave or that he met a blue alien at Area 51 or any of his fantastical claims he would make later. Just as a bystander. So I believe he was, hanging around the UFO land for a while, soaking up the lore, and then would claim to be a whistleblower himself. And it's important that we recognize that he, like many of these characters or so called whistleblowers, his story started at a very believable level, which is that he worked, he had a top secret clearance and he worked at secret bases where his responsibilities had something to do with communications. So his first and initial story was that while working in that capacity, he heard people at the base talking about aliens and crash retrievals and things like this. Well, that's kind of a grounded, believable story, I suppose. But then, like many of the people in UFO land, he needed news stories to entertain morons. So then he starts saying that he met an alien at Area 51. And then later, his stories got even more fantastical, where he claims that some top secret government group sent him into a cave to assassinate an alien. That's right, he's an alien assassin. So interestingly, he would go into spaces, and he did one space that he really shouldn't have done because it's a more skeptical sort of group in that space is run by UFO Shane. So we're going to play that tonight because people just rip into him because literally all that he has is a story. All that he has is a story. That's it. He has no proof of anything. Even claiming, his story is very debunkable because he claims when he met the alien at Area 51, he was with other people. Great, produce the other people and let's see if they back up your bullshit story or not. He never has and he never will. It's also important to note that shortly after declaring himself a UFO whistleblower, he starts running GoFundMe's and wants everybody to pay his bills for him, as if somehow it's our fault that he went on the internet and told crazy stories and now he can't find a fucking job, right? It's absolutely ridiculous what some of these people do. And also ridiculous, why should the UFO community pay your bills? You have provided exactly nothing. He has no evidence of any of his claims. Okay, great. Like many of these fake whistleblowers, great. He was in the military. We can verify that. Maybe he had clearances to work on, sensitive things. Okay. But that doesn't prove that any of his stories are real or true or factual. And his stories have gotten more and more ridiculous as time goes on. And I believe they will continue to get more ridiculous. We're going to start hearing about his secret space adventures. He also claims he did a 20 and back like Corey Good. And by the way, that's a term largely made up by a scam artist grifter. It doesn't exist. But this is where we're at. And of course, this is where we find ourselves. I want to take a moment to thank some kind and generous benefactors who, over the weekend, I was at the cabin with my family. People were still throwing money at me, which I appreciate immensely, partly for the replays and partly just because sometimes people on Kick are watching replays or whatever, and they'll throw a couple bucks in our hat. So I want to thank Bloodwolf282, a Kick viewer, who kindly became a subscriber. I want to thank Mr. Ree on Kick, who on August 2nd kindly became a subscriber. And yesterday, Good Goy became a subscriber on Kick. So thank you to the people who supported us on Kick. And then we've got a few people to call out, like Lord Ludacris, who threw $5 in our hat during the replay, saying, looking forward to this one. Love these Wilcock series. They are freaking funny. Keep up the great work. And Chill Station 7 with a $2 super sticker. Thank you very much. RP708 with a $2 super sticker of a hot dog, I suppose. Thank you very much. And we've got Ducendo or Ducendo saying it's all good. This is for ladies' night with a kind and generous, very kind and generous $20 super chat. So just so everybody's aware, we read every bit of support that we get, and we thank all of you on air. So don't be shy with those donos. I will catch up with the live chat. We'll take a couple questions and comments from the live chat before we start with tonight's commentary. This is incredible. This is an incredible spaces where people like really go after this guy for being a bullshitter. I love to see it. Broken Hip is sending moral support. Well, that's very kind of you, but I can't buy groceries with moral support, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, and I apologize for the lack of shows last week. It was hella hot in here. It's still hella hot in here, but it's kind of bearable today. I think we only got 3 more weeks of this sweltering heat, and then I will be good. And back to my office, hopefully in the next 5 or 6 weeks. For those unaware, I have an office in an attic, and it's so unbearably hot in there. You cannot stream in there without an air conditioner, and people complain about the noise of the air conditioner. Double Tap Ranger Outdoors is here with one for the goals, $7 Canadian. Sands. Many backpedaling after having him on their show. Talk to crazies, get the crazies. Yes, I truly believe that. And I see UFO Shane is here. He's taking a break from his pay my rent grift. He's another one. Why the fuck should we pay your rent, Shane? Get a fucking job, bro. Shane's like, no, man, I'm just gonna do UFO spaces and beg like Darkside Phil, right? Fuck Shane. Don't give him your money. Give it to me. I have children to feed. He's got a dog to feed. Fuck that dog, right? All right, we're gonna get into it. So I'm gonna put my fair use banner up, even though, I mean, Shane's here. He knows I'm doing this. I think I have his permission. It's his spaces. I think you own that, right, Shane? I don't know. Somebody else posted it. I think UFO Intros posted it on YouTube, and that's where I got it from. But this is fair use. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public about fake UFO whistleblowers. And sometime recently, former military people figured out that they could cash in their military credentials and just go into the UFO space and make up ridiculous stories and make good money. I don't think this Jason Sands guy's had a job since he entered the UFO community. What was it, like 2 years ago? He hasn't had a job. He's just running GoFundMe's and PayPal me and shit. Right? We're all supposed to pay his bills so that he could tell us stories about, meeting blue aliens with no ears in the desert or some bullshit, whatever shit. I don't know. So let's get into it. The action begins right away. Right in the beginning, I believe, somebody starts going like, all you have is a story, bro. You're a bullshitter, And then there's some crystal hippie bitches at the end. I might have to skip around because this is 2.5 hours long. I'm not sure how much we'll get through it. It depends on the support for this. I'm going to be pulling a Dark Side Phil. And if there's not much support for this felting Jason Sands, then I'm going to wage quit, okay? Because it's too hot and, whatever. So this is UFO Shane versus Jason Sands. And I don't know why, but this Jason Sands thought it would be a good idea to go into UFO Shane's space, and he just gets murdered in there. But I give him points because he didn't drop the call or whatever. Like he just kept hanging in there.
So I mean, his credibility is gone now. So he's been caught in a lie.
Arthur, what was it that happened with Vetted? Sorry, future. I know you had.
Yeah, so Vetted put out a podcast episode. I'm pretty sure it's probably still up if you go and check.
Yeah, Vetted's full of shit.
Saying that Jason Sands killed an alien, and this was within 24 hours of the first space. And he received that information from Nicole Sakic, who, is part of the kind of an inner circle kind of person who a lot of people knew about Jason Sands' story for months and months and months before he went public. So that was relayed to him. And he put out that information, and after that aired, he was forced to retract and apologize, and Sands said that he was a liar. So obviously he wasn't lying.
He did tell people that he murdered an alien.
I put Jason Sands' response in the nest along with Minds Above It. If you would like to go see it, you can see it there. Once again, guys, we're standing together to get this goddamn nonsense out of here. And in fact, it's just showing you all the people that actually just allow this thing to happen time and time again. They let people in this community, David Adair, Corey Good, Charles Hall, all these people that just make this worse for all of us. I mean, I feel like he's spitting in my face as an actual experiencer. I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm known for not.
He has more stories than Shakespeare. Yes,
and I just think this is a joke. I think this is a disgusting joke. I don't understand. I just don't understand how people someone can be like, yeah, man, I killed aliens for the government. And you're like, wow, because if someone told you that at a gas station, you'd run and you'd get in your car and laugh at them. Or just run because they probably
have noticed the Vetted guy is wavering.
Serial killer on you.
He's a garbage peddling scumbag.
You would never ever tolerate this.
And a douchebag.
Show me some proof.
Fuck Vetted.
Show me some proof. Otherwise, you're just making wild, baseless claims. And that's all ufology has become, is wild, baseless bullshit claims. Just wanting to believe in goddamn nonsense.
Wild, baseless bullshit claims. I agree with Shane for once. I don't agree with Shane's pay my rent scam grift, though. Just putting it out there. And as far as Vetted goes, Vetted directly copied Third Phase of Moon. He does the whole song and dance that they did. Like, whoa, we're just putting information out there. We're putting it out first, so we don't have time to vet anything. Your show's called Vetted, you asshole. Like, what are you doing? Like, your show's called Vetted, and he keeps hosting hoaxers and people prove right after he airs something that it's a hoax. He's a piece of garbage. And as Shane is mentioning here, there's a problem with bullshitters in this thing. Like, imagine if we could just get rid of all the really fantastical wackadoos and do serious research into the topic. People would take it a lot more seriously. But nobody can take a topic seriously when you've got former military assholes like this Jason Sands going, the government sent me into a cave to murder an alien. Sure they did.
That makes you feel good about what happened to you. You need to figure out what actually happened to you, not listen to people lie to you because it makes you feel good and just keeps you even further away from the truth. This is just getting absolutely ridiculous. I'm putting my foot down hard on this. I think everyone else up here on the panel, and hopefully you guys listening down below are
as well. Good luck with that, Shane.
It's
You'll
really
never
time
stop
for us
these
to let
people.
this kind of
There's
stuff
too
go.
much
And this
money
is what I've
to
been
be
talking about, people. We don't need these. We don't
Guy
need
hasn't
Jason
had a
Sands.
job in years.
We don't need
He
Jason
just goes
Fox,
in spaces and
James
tells
Fox.
stories,
We don't need
right?
Lou Elizondo. We don't need any of these people because they're not going to give you disclosure. They're going to give you a story about a dude who fucking stabbed aliens to death for the government. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, and ATIP wasn't real. ATIP wasn't real. Elizondo was never director of a UFO project.
No, he wasn't.
And it's all been built on a lie. And these people are holding all of ufology hostage.
That's good.
They think that because they're so powerful that we have to buy every bullshit they send us, because if we don't buy it and we start pushing them out, they're not going to go away silently. They're going to try to burn this whole fucking thing down.
No, there's too much money to be made. You'll never push them all out. Never. So this
I don't want to give any credence to like him being a government asset or agent. Because I don't even know that he's even that connected. But like, I think maybe
he's not even good enough to be an asset.
The drone timing has anything to do with it. Like people looking for an answer.
Yes, I think that they had a plan, and Langley was part of their plan.
Uh-oh, now we're getting into CIA conspiracies. Double Tap Ranger Outdoors with another kind and generous $7 says the Vedic guy has hosted a ton of proven liars, 100%. Yeah, he does. He just doesn't care. Vetted is wavering. Also, Vetted, come see undeniable proof that Avi Loeb proof Comet 31 Atlas is an alien probe. Yeah. Just one problem with that. Every other scientist other than Avi Loeb says it's a natural thing. It's a comet or a rock, like it's not an alien spaceship. And by the way, Avi Loeb has run that interstellar object is an alien spaceship scam already. Now he's trying to run it again, right? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, what's this? I thought he was there from the beginning. He pops in soon, right?
This whole drone thing was part of their plan. The movie was part of the plan. The hearing was part of the plan. What else was part? The book was part of the plan. Elizondo's book.
I don't know who did the graphic.
Yeah, it was all coordinated behind the scenes. It's called the Invisible College, and you can try to figure out who all the members are.
Vetted is a wackadoo, and
I want to make this very clear too, guys. You're going to be seeing me and other people standing up for ufology. We're going to be getting attacked in other spaces by these people who
another moneymaker for Loeb. Yep.
And when you're in there and you see that happening, you open your microphone, you go up there and you tell them that they are wrong, they are incorrect, and they are the problem. Put your fucking foot down. Be nice, be respectful. I'm doing my best to learn to do that more and more, because you really don't get anywhere just screaming at each other. But this is literally absolutely ridiculous. Except for Grider.
I'm just saying, like, it's like we just gotta be really
it's kind of like a disclaimer. It's kind of like a disclaimer, man, because I can't have if someone does something.
I think he's got tenure. They can't kick him out.
It could go bad for me.
So he could say any wacky shit he wants to.
You do you, but my advice to you would be as respectful as possible. But you don't have to. Oh, we got Jason Sands coming up.
There we go.
Come on up here, Jason.
I don't think there's a government on it, but a lot of these people are working for Peter Thiel, and it's obvious. I never said that part.
Do we have to be nice, Shane?
These guys are using tools that they have.
Well, we know Jesse Michaels.
I don't particularly feel like being nice or polite right now.
We've got Jason Sands up here. All right, Jason Sands is up here.
Yes, professors
Jason,
with
why are you
tenure
lying to
cannot be
people
fired.
about killing aliens for the federal government? What are you doing?
Ooh.
No, I'm not lying about it. It's just you guys are inflating what it actually is. The program itself is in a business of pretty nefarious things, both human and otherwise. To think otherwise is kind of not the case. That's not reality.
He has tenure for Harvard.
The military is the organization that takes out threats.
That's interesting. Dark matter sprinkles.
I know that they have contact with NHI, and there are threats. There are threats in the NHI as well.
Ooh, alien threats.
Unfortunately, they knew that they didn't want me in the program anymore, and I got stuck thinking that they were going to kill me or my family, and they forced me to do this kind of nasty stuff.
Are these recovered?
This is no.
I don't know how much else I.
You're right. We could do that.
Shane, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I fucking need to call this out right now. This is the kind of manipulation that you're using right now. You just tied your story to your family being threatened and you being forced to do these kinds of things for their safety.
Yeah, and by the way, So many of these UFO grifters use that. My life is in danger, but none of them ever get murdered. You notice that in the history of these fake UFO whistleblowers, they're all saying the government's trying to kill them. Bob Lazar, Lou Elizondo, Stephen Greer, this guy, Jason say, oh, the government's trying to kill me because I'm telling you the truth about those aliens. None of them ever get murdered. And I'm here to tell you, like, if the government wants you dead for real, you're dead. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, if they want you dead, obviously, if they could get to a president, they could get to a regular citizen. It's just so stupid. So he's using that. My life is in danger. My family's life was threatened. It's a talking point. It's it's like a point in the story. It's a prover maneuver. See, my information is real. So real that the government's trying to kill me to silence. Shut up, you lying scumbag grifter.
And what that does is it forces people like us to feel like we're the bad guys for calling you out or doubting your story, because you're tying it to something that emotionally resonates with us, weird. Such that it makes anyone doubting your story look like the bad guy. This is emotional manipulation 101, and it's not going to fucking work here. So don't even fucking try. This is absolute horseshit. And the fact that you would even think that a story like this you could just show to the world without a shred of evidence, you expect people to actually just believe it because you're such a nice guy. What? If I had experienced this, I wouldn't share it with anyone because I know the rules of evidence, and I know that I would never demand or expect anyone to believe it without having something to give them.
That's a fair point. Like, why even tell a story if you can't prove it? Could it be because that story will be profitable with or without any proof? Yeah.
How on earth do you sleep at night knowing that you're peddling this kind of bullshit on a daily basis, and knowing how gullible this community is? Because I know that you know they're gullible. I know that you know they lack critical thinking faculties to call you out on this bullshit. You know how easy it is to fabricate shit, and at least half of ufology will believe you. I don't understand how little conscience you must have left that you could fall asleep at night knowing how many people you're taking for a ride for whatever reason, for monetary value, for attention. But you surely know that this is bullshit.
Can I respond
Otherwise,
now?
you would actually. Yeah, sure.
Next
what the
will
fuck?
Be by
go ahead, because I'm sure you have so many amazing things to say to us.
Stop. Just please stop. All right. Look,
is that craft beer?
You weren't there. You never served with me. You weren't in a program. You didn't experience what I had to. I started off as a skeptic, just like you. This is the stuff that happens to people in that program because they are touching base with
NHI.
Sorry, Jason. I was trying to bring up a speaker, dude, and I hit the fucking mute button because I guess Arthur brought him up. Keep going.
Okay. Well, anyways, but they have people that they are dealing with that are nefarious. They've obviously made some very poor decisions in the program, and they have harmed Americans, such as myself, and video, and other people that I'm living proof that they do take retribution out on us.
He was expecting a softball.
Why would they do that? Because dummy. I pointed out that the fact that they did something that they should not have. Okay, so if that's not proof, then there's no way I'm walking out. There's no way David Grush is walking out. There's no way that any whistleblower is going to walk out with a damn UFO on their back just to show everybody.
He's about to cry.
Yeah, well, we want the documents, Jason. Yeah, obviously, we want the documents.
Well, those are classified.
Well, that's not going to be your decision to make, Jason. So,
okay, look, the decision
is with the president. You're right. You're right. It is with the president. Thank you for clarifying that. So, Jason, were those memories that you recovered from your abduction experiences, were those hypnotic regressions or were those organic memories? Thank you.
Those were organic memories. I was told literally when I gave in my badge over at Indian Springs that day that they were going to either kill me or I was going to do this program. One way or the other. I was not going to see my wife and family if I didn't do what they said. That was the only way out.
You gotta kill that alien or we'll kill your bitch wife and your kids, motherfucker. You gotta kill that alien. You better kill him.
No, I'm talking about Indian Springs, where I went out to New Mexico to White Sands, and we were doing a mission there. All I wanted to do was bring my kids on the weekend to a zoo, so I wasn't bored half to death. And they flipped a tizzy, and it ended up being blown out of proportion. And
yeah, this is a clown show.
My life was in danger, and I have.
Did you document this at the time? Do you have records of that, or did you document it later in life?
No, this was just something that came out when people were asking me questions about, well, did you do this? Did you do that?
Yeah, he didn't
And I'm like,
document threats to
I'm
his
going to be honest
family.
with you. If you ask me a question,
This
I'll
is
give you my
bullshit.
best answer.
Look, I'm a father of 2 children and a husband. If somebody threatened my family, I would document it. Any reasonable person, if your family is threatened by somebody, you would document it.
Lie to you. I mean, I've already suffered in my career. I've lost my clearance, all this other bullshit. And you guys still sit there and try to hammer me.
You lost your clearance because you're running around telling people the government has aliens, you asshole. What do you think they're going to do when you basically show everybody that you're a mentally deranged lunatic?
Over this bullshit about what you think.
Yeah,
You weren't even there. You were not
because
even
you
there.
think
You
that
have
the
no
fact
right
that
to
you
tell
don't
me
have
what
a
I did.
clearance, you think that the fact that you don't have a clearance is all the proof that we need to know that you're telling the truth, and it just
What do you
doesn't
want for
fucking
proof?
work that way.
Stop for a minute. Stop.
What do you
want for
have?
proof?
More than a story.
What do
More
you
than
want
a
for
goddamn
proof?
story.
If you want documents, go convince the
at a minimum.
Okay, if you
or
want
someone
the documents,
else vouching for you.
Shut
Literally
up for a
any
minute,
human
damn it.
being on earth.
I'm giving you the answer
you asked me
to
a
get
question
your
and
answer.
I'm answering
Whenever
the question
they
that you
ask
asked
me
me.
on,
You
I
asked me,
will
what
do
do I
it.
want for proof?
I don't know.
can give you
It's
a
really
million
up to them.
possible things that you could provide.
Everybody's
Literally
been asking
another
me
person
that.
who you
I
worked
think
with
maybe
who is
soon.
willing to
We'll
come
see.
out. Literally anyone else who could vouch for what your responsibilities were. A fucking pay stub. A fucking image of you during the time, like literally a journal of you writing this down, timestamped when this was happening. Not just bullshit stories that get increasingly more fantastical every time you come on UFO Twitter, especially after a documentary that you might have royalties for. And even if you don't, it doesn't matter.
So your
You have
hindsight is
absolutely nothing.
2020. Okay, when on earth did you ever get in trouble in an altercation at a Walmart and decide, oh, this is a great time for me to journal this? Fuck that.
Oh
Dude,
my God.
you are unrealistic.
Is that really a good analogy? Jason,
is that really unrealistic?
Is that
what about a friend or a family member?
Taking notes in a journal.
Okay. All right.
Him off.
Let me give my 2 cents on this real quick. Jason, you sound like a really sweet man.
I wouldn't believe
let
what
me
he
just
wrote
say one
you.
thing in response.
You can't be telling people you killed aliens for the federal government with no proof, man. Because it makes you no different than Corey Good or David Wilcock or any of the guys before you, man. And I feel personally, as an experiencer myself, that you're spitting in my face and the faces of other people that have experiences. And I don't know who's paying you to do this. I don't know if they are. I don't know if you're doing it of your own volition or what's going on. But you have to be able to show proof of these claims instead of just telling me, oh, my whole family's going to be murdered or whatever, because you're trying to make me feel bad. And honestly, dude, I don't know if I don't believe a word you're saying.
You're right.
So it just really happens.
Okay, good. Yeah. So I get your opinion. Honestly, yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. All right. So I don't like talking about it.
Even if it's circumstantial.
I've said it a couple of different times.
He doesn't like talking about
you guys
it. He's in
spaces
are the
all
the
ones
time.
that keep bringing it up.
You were just on a podcast, dude. I mean,
what?
Yeah, I know.
You were on a podcast. You were in a movie.
You went on an interview,
part of your
on
group.
a documentary.
Okay, he's part of your group. So anyway, if you guys want this to go away and you don't want me to talk about
not one of these dudes have actual proof. You're correct.
Then stop asking me, damn it.
Well, you said it. The fact is that you said it.
Yeah, because you asked an honest question. I gave you my honest answer.
What did you do with
the body? Take it, then shut up.
What did you do with the body after you killed the alien? What happened? Tell us.
You were not there. You were not.
I know I'm not. That's why I'm asking you the question.
Where's the body, bitch?
What did you do with the body?
Where's the body, bitch?
You weren't there either, Jason.
What a wackadoo.
Jason,
you've got an opinion. You've got an opinion.
Yeah, he did.
Let's try to do some hands.
You guys are going off of zero proof yourself. Okay.
You weren't there, Jason, and you're not going to convince any rational human being. You're not going to convince a single thinking human being.
You have no credibility because all you do is hate. I can make that up right now.
What is this, fucking high school? This isn't hate. This is...
Take a picture. Everyone has a cell phone. Yeah, I agree.
All right, we're going to go to hands, as Arthur stated. So if you want to talk, you have about 5 seconds to raise your hands. You can ask Jason a question. Jason can respond. We're going to keep it civil. I don't want anyone
nobody asked him about corroborating.
Like I said, man, we're going on a new wave of UFO shaming.
Because he claimed when he met the alien at Area 51 that he was with 2 or 3 other people, like, right, in a Jeep. So name names. Let's go talk to those 2 or 3 people and see if they can corroborate your story. Why won't he release their names?
So we're,
could it be because the whole story is fake?
Abrasive sometimes, but I'm still going to get my opinion across.
He did. So he wrote the story all the way to the Joe Rogan experience.
There's Arthur. You can call on the hands.
Let's go with Tim T first. Somber.
I like Rogan,
then Christian.
Except when he talks to UFO wackadoos. I don't listen to any of his UFO.
All right, Jason. So I'm curious. Bullshit. Have you ever heard of the story of Phil Schneider?
Yeah, I have.
And what do you think about that story?
I don't know, honestly. That again, just like me, and when he was asked, he seemed like he was being genuine, but I didn't know what to take home with.
Yeah, it turns out Phil Schneider was a mental case. He had been in and out of psychiatric institutes. He was never a geologist. His claimed education was fake. His claimed work history was fake. And for those unaware, Phil Schneider claimed that he was a geologist for the government working on secret underground bases. Yeah, he was an insane guy, cut off his own fingers. He did. He had a rare psychological condition which caused him to mutilate his own body. So he cuts off some of his fingers, and then his proof of meeting aliens and being in an alien battle at UFO conferences is he was hold his hand up with missing finger or whatever and say that the alien shot a laser at his hand and melted off his fingers. That was his proof. But there is documentation that proves that he cut off his own fingers. So the Phil Schneider story is completely and totally fake. And asking one wackadoo about another wackadoo is a waste of time, in my opinion.
The same with what I said about this having to do mercenary work. It's up for you guys to whether you want to take it on value or not.
On value,
the same thing.
All right, that tells me enough right there.
Yeah, I don't care if you guys agree or not. I'm telling you the truth, but it's your own business to go ahead and take home what you want.
Really did kill an alien.
Sitting here bad mouthing me for something I obviously feel I have experienced. I don't get it. It's like your opinion doesn't stand just because you
Terry
don't like
Joyce
to hear
from
it.
Not My Rabbit Hole is here. He cut his own fingers off.
It's not because we don't like to hear it.
And there's documents that prove that he cut his own fingers off. People still argue
Hold
with me.
on.
Yeah,
we got to do
the
the
Dulce
hands.
guy. He
We're
was a
gonna
complete
get the big hand
fraud.
up, man.
Mine's quick.
Fake education, fake
Who's
work
next?
history.
Mine's
Claimed
really
he was a
Christian.
geologist.
Okay.
No, he
Yeah.
wasn't. He was a wackadoo. He was
Hey,
a total
This
mental
mute button fucking is bugged as a motherfucker. Go ahead, Christian.
Hey, Jason. Man, I don't know if you can shoot me a DM, man, because I'm not an experiencer, but I had my exes, and she had some stories that I was very scared. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to. You know how this is.
Yeah,
but
he killed himself.
I'm sure you can pass a polygraph test. I can tell you believe what you say. At least that I believe that you believe it. But yeah, man, shoot me a DM because these topics are sensitive and they're so unbelievable anyway. But I'd like to share with you privately if that's cool. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn it down a little bit.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. But yeah, I agree. I've already told several people I'd take a polygraph. I'd walk people into the base's installation.
I'll give him a polygraph. If he'll agree to it, I'll give him a polygraph. I'll fly to wherever he is and give him a polygraph.
And show them where I worked and all the different things. I've even offered to Congress that I know where the documents are that go all the way back to 1954.
Double Tap Ranger Outdoors is here with another one for the goal.
Nobody has asked me to go.
And he's the sole contributor tonight. Tonight's show is sponsored by Double Tap Ranger Outdoors. Thank you very much. Double Tap Ranger Outdoors says, losers like this join the military to feel tough, then wash out later and make up stories like they were in combat or aliens. Yes, I agree. And God bless the goal. And thank you, Double Tap Ranger Outdoors. Let me maybe some praise the cash bumpers will entice people to be a little more generous, right? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let's praise the cash so we can keep doing these wackadoos of the week episodes. Don't make me wage quit like Phil.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
Praise it, my friends. And if we have time at the end of the show, I've got some announcements, big announcements to make about the Internet Insanity Circus show. So far, we've got 2 co-hosts already booked and ready to go. So that's some great news. Let's continue with this wackadoo, though, for now.
Go with them. I mean, I'm not going to walk into one of these facilities without the proper authority or a sidearm, to tell you the truth. And that is where I stand with it. But until that moment happens, you got no documents and you got no pictures of me standing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
The hangars and
Internet Insanity Circus is going to be pretty crazy.
Awful convenient.
I will wage quit. We're only up to
everybody.
21. I'm just getting just like Dark Side Phil.
So much.
Like, I'm going to start bitching.
If they don't want me to do that, then I can't.
Look, we're at $21 and we're already 35 minutes into the show. $21? Really? I mean, okay. Thank you, Double Tap Ranger Outdoors. It must be a brokey crowd tonight. And by the way, when people ask me why did I start covering Dark Side Phil or other, stuff, this is why, because we need to get more support.
None of us can force ourselves.
We need to praise the cash, bitches.
Private industry partners like General Dynamics and stuff, and make them give you the parts that they have.
Sandra McDonald
that they're working
has heard
on
the call of the goal.
These are the kind of things that.
Thank you, Sandra McDonald, who says, "Gotta up my membership again. Come on, membership donos. Yeah, let's go. Let's get some gifted stuff. I'll do the Phil Super Beggar Sampler. Let's get some support over on Kick. Let's get some PayPal pledges. Let's get some gifted memberships on YouTube. Let's get some gifted subs on Kick.com. Let's get some PayPal pledges and somebody buy me some coffees. I've got a lot of editing to do, so I'm going to need the caffeine. Thank you, Sandra McDonald, for your kindness, generosity, and support. And praise the cash, bitches.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, we're up to $29 of support. Let's keep it going. Let's get a support train going. And where is Robert P. and some of the other membership gifters so we can expand the community tonight?
Honestly, are unrealistic when it comes to demanding evidence.
Oh, it's unrealistic when somebody's talking about they got sent on a secret mission to murder an alien to ask him for evidence. It's unrealistic.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I want to show the Congress even the documents. And nobody's taken me up on the offer, strangely enough.
Because they think you're a mental case lunatic.
Wonder why that is.
Because they think you're a mental case lunatic. Thank you, Sandra. Big show support tonight.
Okay, let's go to the cans. Next is Somber.
I was just curious. There seems to be a little bit of a career deviation in your history, right? I mean, that's kind of public knowledge. If you can touch on why you got into psyops and cyber warfare, more stuff in that part.
Well,
by the way, he's provided no resume proof that he ever worked in these areas.
Yeah, what I was an electronic systems security analyst, is what they called it early on. It also converged into another intel career field later on, as they're redoing the manpower for the Air Force. But anyway,
good. Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad that we did that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I did.
Phones on copper wire.
Those guys are funny as hell. I think they're funnier than me.
Hooking up computers to computers and monitoring emails became a part of my job as well. So all of that, I trained myself on how to program in SQL and in Visual Basic.
Visual Basic? What is this, 1987? Come on.
And everywhere I went, ever since I did that, because I did it mainly because I was the training manager when I was at RAF Mildenhall.
So he was an electronic security guy. Okay. That doesn't... Listen, if you had to murder an alien, let's unpack this for a minute. Let's say you are in the government and there's some nefarious evil alien in a cave and you got to murder that alien for whatever reason. When you send special forces like a SEAL team in there to kill the alien, no, let's send this big fat guy that sits at a desk and does computer work for us. Let's send him in to murder the alien for us. It's ridiculous and childish and stupid. If you really had to murder an alien, you're not sending some desk jockey computer geek in there, right? It just doesn't make any sense. Caleb Kebbel, 1964, who is already a Praise the Cash member, has gifted a True Seekers membership. This is why you got to hit that subscribe button, friends, because if you're in the live chat and a kind and generous friend like Caleb Kebbel, 1964, gifts a membership, you could win one. And that is exactly what happened to C. Jacobs 060, was gifted a membership because Caleb Kebbel, 1964, is very kind and generous. So thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support, and praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
And we've got Charles McDonald, who's a longtime show supporter, has gifted 5 memberships. And look at that, Broken Hip got a free membership, and Catwoman 298 got a free membership. Patrick Ryan 95, Retro Arcade Store, and Steve on one, Phil 73, all got free gifted memberships thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of longtime show supporter Charles McDonald. Thank you, Charles McDonald. Very, very kind of you. Now we're getting the cash flowing. Enjoyed your Intel Lady and Terry Joyce interviews. Thank you very much. Yes, we recently had Ladies Night where I put a bunch of interviews with ladies into one big long deep dive. So thank you for that. We appreciate your kindness, generosity, and support.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, let me get caught up in the live chat. We're all caught up. Called out all the cash.
And I taught myself how to program, and because I wanted a really good training database. So I did that. And ever since then, it followed me around. And eventually, when I got out of the Air Force, I thought, I kind of really like computers. I'm going to pursue that as a career. So that's when...
That's another thing. If you had to murder an alien or send them... Come on, let's unpack this. If you had to assassinate an alien, are you sending a computer geek from the Air Force, some fat guy that sits at a desk, to go murder the alien? Or are you sending in the Marines or the Green Berets or SEAL team? It makes no sense. It just defies logic. Even the claims with just simple logic, you could pick them apart as total horseshit.
Outside the Air Force, I did more with computers and working with the NSA and cyber and teaching them, mentoring them. That's when I became a cyber guy. And they actually, for my first schoolhouse that I was teaching in, they actually made me take certification tests and stuff like that, just like an IT guy would, or a cybersecurity guy would.
She would not do an interview with me because I would rip her to shreds and leave that old bitch crying. She would not survive an interview with me.
Computer forensics. So that ended up being there. And the other thing that helped me to get my jobs also in the cybercom staff.
Wouldn't they just send a drone?
Yeah. I was also a planner for a part of my career, which is something I did in Hawaii. And that joint planning experience was what they hired me for, is because I knew
so he used a computer virus to kill the alien.
Memorandums for high individuals, admirals, 3-star generals, all this kind of stuff, and so that converted well into
even more than fake badasses, even as a veteran. Planners. Yes,
and I'm like, well, gee, I've taught that for about 10 or 15 years. Will you hire me?
Yeah. So we have sophisticated drones, but we'll send this fat loser instead.
NSA, all that stuff started rolling out in my somewhat 30-year contracting careers. So that's how I became a cyber guy. But it stemmed from my my second job in the Air Force. My first job was an airframe mechanic. My second job was an Intel guy. So that's when I did the electronic systems stuff, and I did that for the program as well.
We outed her.
We used the same equipment to tap into the phones and monitor all the stations at all the locations that they sent me to, and the other 3 guys too. And that's how we gathered all the intel. And then we would debrief the staff at each of those locations, and we would tell them, "Yep, this is what we found out about your mission type. Here's what we feel you."
All right, I'm checking in with the Kick Chat, and it looks like we have a kind and generous benefactor over there. Scooter the Pooter gifted 1 Kick subscription. So thank you for that, and thank you for your kindness.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Scooter the Pooter. What a user ID, right? Scooter the Pooter. Thank you for the support over on kick.com.
Classified. Can you
verify? I think you answered that pretty good, Jason. Thank you.
Just a quick follow-up. That still didn't prepare you, though, for when you first came out, there was a website and stuff. The skills that you learned.
That was one of the best edits ever.
Did you apply that did you have to apply that kind of stuff when you came out from some of the harassment you received?
No, nobody ever questioned my skill set at all. No.
Nobody questioned his skill set?
It's just something that grew on me. You got to understand, you're talking back in the 90s when they had these really old computers compared to what we got today. And you just...
Sorry, I'll be more direct. The fake website that was out.
Sans killed the aliens with his putrid fat guy farts. Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't even know it existed until somebody showed it to me.
When they deployed that, you were out of your wheelhouse still. I was just trying to put all these things together.
No, you got to understand, somebody else in the world...
It's like you're a cyber guy.
Well, here you go. I'm a cyber guy, but, I don't know what you're doing in your basement tonight. You could create a website that has my picture that you grabbed off of something else, which is what happened. I didn't even know the website existed until somebody showed it to me. One of my friends said, "Hey, somebody posted this." And I'm like, yeah, that's a picture I used to use for WhatsApp. And he's like, "So you're not a lawyer?" And I laughed because he knew it wasn't a lawyer.
Yeah, somebody put up a fake website claiming to be a lawyer.
Yeah, we just laughed about it. And then everybody just was like, "Yeah, this looks like some scammer just trying to make stuff up."
And he's calling somebody else a scammer.
So Jason, when you claimed that you killed an alien, can you explain what happened? What did they do with the body afterwards? Where did it go?
Yeah, where's the body, bitch?
Honestly, that was part of their job. I wasn't tasked to do anything with that. That was it. We just went in to take care of the dirty work. We left. They took us off with a helicopter, and off we went. We went back to wherever, and they would make us go unconscious. They'd give us some kind of shot, and you'd go unconscious again. And the next thing you know, you'd be back in your bedroom and waking up the next day.
Do you see how?
So you had a dream?
So you had a dream. He dreamed that he killed an alien in a tunnel.
Well, yeah, honestly, for many years I thought that, is this just nightmares I'm having, or is
very
this real?
good?
Because it's very
T.
realistic.
Jacobs is
I'd wake up
thanking
feeling
for
like I was
thanking
there, and
for the membership.
Sometimes I'd actually
very
feel
kind
like
of the people
I had
here.
injuries where in my what I thought was my dream, that I had injuries in the dream, and I was like, this is just not right, you know.
Do you see how? Do you see how? No, and thank you for answering. But real quick, do you see how, from our perspective, or people who don't believe your stories' perspective?
Yeah, it's the same thing that abductees go through.
Well, hold on a second. You seem to be able to answer. You can explain away the lack of evidence at every single level. There's nothing. There's no detail being provided at all. It's just
get them.
I don't even know the locations where, you know. There was one memory I have of going into a cave. I got no idea exactly where that was.
But how did you go from a Visual Basic programmer to an assassin of aliens, dude?
Yeah.
The Nexus.
No, that I became a programmer after that.
Okay. First he killed aliens, then he became a computer programmer.
If you were in our shoes, would you believe your story?
I would sit there and have to listen to it and go, gosh, you know, I wasn't there, and I'd have to make my own decision, just like you guys have to. That's all I care
come
about.
on.
I mean, you ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. It's up to you whether you want to accept it or not. You can sit there and bag on me all night, but it's not going to get you anywhere or me.
This is incredible that this is how your mind works. This is the reasoning process that you engage in. Okay, fine.
I cannot. I mean, there's no answer I can give you that's going to satisfy your curiosity, because
that's
correct. Well, we want some evidence, Jason. That's our basic thing.
Get them, guys.
Nobody was sitting there with a camera when I was doing all this stuff.
So we want some corroborations from your the other people you worked with. We want documentation.
Yeah, if you were sending somebody in on a top secret mission to kill an alien, wouldn't you give them a body cam so you can confirm the kill? So there should be video of this, right? This is where the stories just get ridiculous and they fall apart under the least little bit of critical thinking or scrutiny. Tony Hugecock 9789. Tony Hugecock. Wow, what a user ID. Says, binging your Wilcox stuff, even when I was open-minded, I thought he was a fraud. It's enjoyable to hear you clown on him, enjoying a lot of your stuff. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for your kindness. Very kind of you. And I so appreciate when somebody finds my stuff enjoyable and throws a couple bucks in my hat so I can keep making it. Thank you. Tony Hugecock 9789. He's got a huge cock. Good for you. You got good genetics. My son's like that. He's 13 now, and holy man, he's packing. He's like packing heat. Whoa, one of those things.
You don't know about it, but behind the scenes,
some people
are some people blessed. That were investigated. They found them and they corroborated. Okay,
but we're just trusting your word on that. So again, that's meaningless.
Yeah. Honestly, you would have to literally petition, you know, for.
People corroborated my story.
You know, what Arrow was provided and what the ICIG was provided and what Congress was provided. And good luck with getting them to come clean on everything, because I don't know what they think.
And would you be willing to help in that? Would you be willing to help drive that effort?
Someone clipped a huge cock?
I've already asked for all the records, and they still didn't even give it to me. I even called up about my own clearance.
Did you FOIA them?
And they refused to tell me what was going on.
Did you file a FOIA request for these?
Yes, I did. I have a copy of that, yeah.
No, he didn't not ever get. He didn't file shit.
Did you tell Congress about that?
Yeah, and I had some friends looking into it. They have not responded. Well, they haven't told me that they have been able to be successful.
They would want to confirm the kill, right?
I'm sure they didn't drop it. I don't expect that of them, but sometimes it takes a while to get stuff ferreted out and figure out who has the document and
who has the document.
Where to go from there. Sometimes stuff gets lost amongst all the other legislation.
And besides, this is another good point.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you.
If you're running a top secret mission to kill aliens, would you really write it all down and keep documents about it? It makes no sense. And Troll is here, longtime show supporter. Did this guy ever say why they wanted the alien dead? Good question. And no, I don't believe he ever did. They just sent him into a cave to murder an alien, troll. Trust me, bro.
Raise the gas, raise the gas, raise the cash.
Yes. Thank you very much. And Echo Archives with another one. Linda Moulton Howe is haunted by bovine ghosts with no buttholes. Yeah, she cut the butt. I think she killed those cows. Linda Moulton Howe killed those fucking cows.
Raise the gas, raise the gas, raise the cash.
That is correct. Linda Moulton Howe killed the cows. Kind of like when the Navy SEALs supposedly killed Osama bin Laden but kicked him out of the helicopter over the ocean. No, I think they threw him over the ocean off the aircraft carrier. And there's a specific reason they did that. They didn't want him to have a burial place so that he would become a martyr and people would go worship him for what he did to us. So they just threw him in the ocean. I think that what they should have done is injected him. They should have drained his blood, injected his entire body full of pig blood, and then threw him over, right? Because Muslims have a big aversion to pork. And I think that would be, I think there's something that, like if a Muslim is in contact with a pig, they can't get into heaven or something. I don't know. That's a weird rabbit hole.
Tweets. I'm liking this. I'm getting a lot of information here. Thank you for being honest about it, Jason. I do appreciate that. So how you feel?
Shane is glazing him up, keeping him on the line.
All right.
Go ahead, Logan.
Is Logan talking?
I'm talking on mute.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, so good to see you. I just noticed that some people were kind of feel like going a little bit hard on you, and maybe it's just because I've been here the whole time, but I don't understand why you go hard on the guys. He doesn't have any evidence. We know this.
Yeah, I can't provide it. I'm sorry.
Logan, are you fucking serious right now? You know damn well why.
Get him. Fuck Logan.
Can you explain it to me?
Yes, because, oh my God, this is not just an isolated
pig
thing.
Blood,
it's not
blood
just Jason
transfusion.
Sands. Ufology has a history. It has a history of conmen and scam artists and who have absolutely nothing to provide but a story. And trust me, bro. And they have deceived, I don't know how big ufology is, maybe millions, maybe hundreds of thousands. There's a history and a pattern here that you guys never seem to learn from. He is just the latest example of that. Either he's a psyop, who knows, or let me finish, Jason, or he's doing it of his own accord. But they absolutely have nothing. And look at what it leads to. This isn't just like a funny little story that you could just choose to believe or not. This has real world fucking consequences. Yeah. Do you know the number of people that I've worked with who have been traumatized because they've been raised in cults? Because they believe people who make claims like these that are evidence-free. This is not a harmless little exercise. And I am angry. I know you're not a part of the cult. You would be the cult leader in this situation, Jason. That's why I'm coming so.
I don't know. I don't think it's fair to call him a cult leader. And we can't tell the experiencers that they can't share their experience. What people choose to do with information is up to them. And there's a bad history, but you can't blame the experiencers for sharing their story.
You can't blame the experiencers for sharing their story. How about you don't share your story if that's all you have is a story? Garage G, who's a longtime show supporter, with $2 and $1 for the goal. Thank you.
Raise the gas, raise the gas, raise the cash.
We are praising it. Thank you, Garage G. We'll continue our journey into Wackadooville.
Yeah, but if you would, I would argue with that, though, because you'd be using that same excuse if Corey Good was sitting here right now and he wasn't the big sham he is, though, right? You'd be defending him. Like, I kind of don't like what you're doing.
I would be defending Corey. Why? He's a liar.
Well, you know that now.
This is why ufology never goes in. You never learn any historical
and
lessons
Logan, you
from
thought Charles should be let
over and over again, and you could
let's go back to hands.
Back to hands.
Let's go back to hands.
I don't get it.
We're gonna go back to hands. It's okay. It's okay. I don't want everyone turning on each other. Look. Any other time I'd be in here fucking going and saying, but Jason, I'll give him props.
Okay.
In here, and I always say, if the guy will come and talk, that's more than anyone else would do.
Well, you want evidence? I was going to offer something to the group if it matters anything to you.
Oh, he's got some evidence.
I can get to, given the program name and everything else, is something I gave to some of the investigators, and that is that I have my personnel reports that state, for the years that I've always stated, that I was in a special access program. Okay, it's right there in my military records, and I will be willing to produce those and even highlight those bullet statements on my own personnel reports.
Yeah, it's the fact that you were in a secret access program is not proof that you murdered aliens. There's thousands of secret access programs for the military and intelligence complex.
That says that is exactly what I did. Was I was
thank you, Garage
put in this program. The other thing is that it will show the date.
Double Tap Ranger Outdoor says, "Trust me, bro." Yeah, program. Trust me. And that's all they all have is "Trust me, bro" stories. I was at Nellis when this occurred. Is that partly some of the evidence, other than having to produce a freaking UFO? Poisonous, paranoia-inducing ideas.
We want the documents. We don't want the UFO. We want the docs. So that's good, Jason.
So would that help, though? Is what I'm asking the group.
Yes, any and all documents would help.
I will.
Yeah, I don't see how that could hurt. Yeah.
Okay.
A special access program could literally mean anything.
Scan them in.
It could have been a computer security guy at White Sands or something. I want to be honest. That's a special access program.
While I don't know if you were MK Ultra or what's going on.
No,
here.
I'm not.
I mean, you just said earlier that it felt like a dream, so you weren't sure if these are dreams or not. That's what you just said.
Well, yeah.
He looks like one of the Afghani red-haired giants.
So it may be something similar. But I will say that if what you're saying is true, then I would like to know. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this. There's a history, like Sky was saying, in ufology of people making these wild claims with no evidence. Mm-hmm. So if you can provide more than those people ever have, and do that in a way that can show anything at all, then I'll accept it. I'll look at it.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
But you have to understand, Jason, you haven't been a part of this. I know you were killing aliens and shit for the government, but I come at this from a ufologist standpoint of allowing counterintelligence guys in here whenever this would never be allowed in the past, things like that. So there's a lot of distrust, and people always tell me, they're like, oh, let people do this and that. Well, like I keep bringing Corey Good up, but when people did that for Corey Good, he destroyed multiple people's lives, including 2 women that built the Light Warrior website for him, that he then used it against them. Right. So you have to understand where I'm coming from.
Him, like that's not on all the experiencers,
Yeah, but it's a history, right?
Here's my response.
You have to do your due diligence.
Okay, well, I get the idea of evidence and all this other good stuff, and I know I wish I had everything to just provide it to everybody and say, look, here you go, and open it up. However, would you also fairly say that, from my point of view, you guys also need to produce, some real evidence that maybe, we talked to you guys talked to one of my coworkers, and now that's why you want to badmouth me and call me on the carpet, but right now I'm not hearing that. I'm just hearing that
you guys didn't prove my stories aren't true, so you shouldn't badmouth me. Come on, dude.
Or lying, but we're both.
Well, let's get to some hands.
We're both talking
Thank you,
about
Jason.
Evidence that doesn't exist. All right.
Go ahead, Terrestrial.
So now the evidence doesn't exist. Okay, go ahead, Terrestrial. And then we're gonna go to Bruce.
Jason, what was the method of execution, and why was that the chosen method over other methods?
Yeah, how'd you kill the aliens, dude?
Just like when I was in the program, the tall whites were using the grays as worker bees and clean up people for their laboratory experiments.
Okay, 1 second. We have to stop it here. He's mentioning the tall whites, and for those unaware, the tall whites are a complete and total work of fiction that was put out into the UFO mythos by a man named, what is his name? We busted him, something fierce. And it turns out that the guy who invented the whole story about the tall whites was a complete and total stolen valor fraud who was never in the military. And his story starts with, when I was in the Air Force, I was at secret bases. Charles Hall is his name. And we busted him. He was never in the Air Force. So should we believe if he was never in the Air Force and his story began with, when I was in the Air Force, I met tall white aliens? Jason Sands just co-signed a complete and total hoaxer's claims about tall white aliens. Tall white aliens are fake. And so was the guy who invented tall white aliens. He was never in the military. So this alone, I wish I was in that space, because I would have hit him with that. I would have hit him with Phil Snyder being a complete and total fraud as well. This is what the grifters do. They build on accepted UFO mythology. Like, oh, I had to go kill this gray because he was working for the tall whites. The tall whites don't exist. They were made up by a man named Charles Hall, who lied about being in the Air Force and working at a secret base where he met these aliens. His whole story is a fraud. And here Jason Sands is co-signing another hoaxer's fake story that was a stolen valor fraud. And you would think, since Jason Sands was actually in the Air Force, he wouldn't be repeating lies from a stolen valor fraud in the form of Charles Hall.
A aloofness to dirty work in, I think, their mentality. And if they can get a human to do it for them, and they know that the only other option,
tall whites. Are you talking about Aryans? No, it's a kind of alien.
Well, that's a better idea. Yeah, let's use them for that. That's the only supposition I could think of is why they would allow people to be used in that way. But here we are also that, if they are abducting people without consent, it seems like they don't really care what you think anyway. They're going to do what they damn well please to the human race.
Well, yeah, if they have superior technology.
What kind of weapon did you use to kill the aliens?
It was a rifle type thing. It was like a long rifle, but it shot kinetic something out of it. I don't even know how. All I know is that I could use it like a rifle.
Wait. So are you saying it was NHI weaponry or was it human weaponry?
It looked NHI to me. It was just simply there's a trigger on it.
The Blue Chicken Overlords. Yes, Dave B is here. Welcome.
You just handed it and told to point it downrange like you do a rifle.
Did you shout for the
Avians was just a Twitter joke. What? Correct.
That's a 40K joke.
I meant turn people from Uranus.
You haven't. You know what? I do need to fix something here. Future down there. Feature. I guess because your name has an F in it, you got pushed below my screen. I couldn't see you. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I didn't mean to fucking ignore you.
Walking with the tall whites. That guy's a total fraud. He was never in the Air Force.
I just have a really quick bullet round of questions. I don't believe or disbelieve you. I have no emotion behind this. So you were so threatened that you killed aliens. How are you not threatened today? And you're able to come out with government secrets. And you were so fearful. And now you're just brave enough that you were willing to kill people. And now you just come out with all the deeds.
Because it was not even like that at all. I mean,
I agree, Tony Huge Cock. And how many times do I have to say huge cock during this broadcast?
Just like the special forces did with terrorists. That's kind of what it was. It felt like to me. It was that kind of mercenary work.
Yeah, alien scientist.
So I don't.
Very good point. And by the way, I'm sorry, I missed your text about the Ashton thing. I'll get back to you. My old forum admin, David Hilton, was the first guy who filed FOIAs on Charles Hall and exposed the fraud. Yes, and after I saw that he did that, but there was some confusion, Jeremy, because Charles Hall has given 3 different birth dates. He's got 3 different birthdays, and I think that was to prevent people from finding his records or lack thereof. So myself, I filed the FOIA request and got the same result that David Hilton did, that he was never in the Air Force. And then I sent a guy who's an expert in military records to file the same requests with the National Personnel Records Center on all 3 birth dates that Charles Hall has used. And all 3 came back never in the Air Force. But thank you, Jeremy, for pointing that out. Indigo Horizon gifted 1 True Seekers membership. And this, my friends, is why you got to hit that subscribe button. Look, I got to say it again. See? Look, Tony Hugecock 9789 received a gifted membership. Thanks to Indigo Horizon 30. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support and helping us to praise the cash.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
All right, my friends, let's continue. This is so stupid. So he's co-signing a complete and total fraud that was never in the military. And he's weaving his story into a previous hoaxer story.
Well, it's kind of like the special forces people.
Oh, yeah. He's special forces. Let's send this big fat guy into a cave to murder an alien with a special alien rifle that he knows nothing about. Come on.
They may be, some of them might end up getting paranoid by the trauma they've been through.
Well, yeah.
And live their whole life in fear for their life. But still, they retire from the army or wherever, and they go on about their lives. I'm not fearful for my life. I know I had to do some bad stuff.
Okay, so he was so fearful for his life that he took a mission to go assassinate an alien or they would hurt his family. Well, if they would hurt your family if you won't go kill an alien, won't they hurt your family for blabbing about it in Twitter spaces and on YouTube and in documentaries and books and shit? I would think. I don't know.
I retired. I tried my best to forget about it, try to live a normal life, and that was it. But now that, I feel like I'm on mission now to at least tell people there is a program. There's stuff going on in it. There are some concerns. Really, all I really wanted to talk to
this guy reeks of disinformation agent, if you ask me.
There's some nefarious stuff that I've been
like one of those
about
people that are sent out to make the whole subject worthy of mockery.
Men, but can we talk about what you guys would be able to take action on? Here's
okay,
what
okay.
Like
so
glass.
Okay,
what?
we're good there. So you used to have your kids in life threatened. You no longer do. They stopped doing that. What color do they bleed? Do they bleed? What does it look like when you kill them?
I only remember one particular one where something oozed out. It was kind of like this creature that had
why make the big fat guy do it?
It was like a crab.
He's special forces. Yeah, big and fat. He can't even run a mile, this fat dude.
Some kind of yellowish green.
It's just like the super soldiers. They're always fat and out of shape.
Came out.
And they have superpowers. Come on.
So
okay, and how many people are on your kill team?
There's anywhere between 4 to 6, depending on what we're doing.
6 alien assassins.
And are you hunting them, or they're just delivered like a deer?
It was like they had already located them, and we were just put on site. Like airlifted in and told, take out the target.
You could use the R word.
Get back here to the
this guy is at least partially retarded. Maybe he's like a quarter tard or a half tard. I don't know.
Else in to finish cleaning up.
Okay, so if you're airlifted, is there any record of?
He was really sent to the alien to be butt banged.
Black Ops.
Yeah.
So, no.
Okay.
I think he
did.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Yeah. He got butt banged before he shot him. That's why he shot him.
Okay,
He went in the cave. The alien started butt banging him, and then he turned the gun on him and shot him.
Bob Dart, then Somberg, and then you have basically something like that.
His voice is quivering. Bad liar. Yeah.
And good space. A couple of points. One thing is that I can't see how anyone can establish that this isn't just dreams, and that's quite a charitable interpretation, that it isn't kinds of experiences, that many experiences report, they believe that they've gone here, there, and everywhere, and been in spaceships. And then you find in many of those cases, if a partner is in the room, they see them when that person wakes up in a spaceship. And we now know that a lot of those cases are not physically objectively real. So that is one charitable explanation. But the thing's more disappointing is that James Fox has allowed you, Jason, to go on there as an insider, not as an experiencer. I think if you'd said all this as, I've had this experience, I believe I've had these experiences, I have these memories of things that happen, but the problem is you are being sold to everyone as an insider from a human-run project with human technology, obvious evidence that could be presented. If it had been presented that you were experiencing and were unsure of what actually the hell went on, I don't think you would have the kind of criticism you're getting. But you can't really establish to us that these aren't visionary experiences.
Yeah, honestly, I wish they were bad dreams, honestly. But they are very living, very real.
They're not dreams. I really killed that alien.
That to us any more than most people say they've had an alien abduction. So the problem is you can't establish that you're not just, say, an experience of some strange memories over being an insider in a project. And the problem is you've been sold and gone along with that narrative, and you've no way to substantiate it. I think you were unwise to have done that. If you'd said, I've had strange experience,
I think from now on, I'm just going to avoid the question. I'll just tell them, no, I don't want to talk about that, because it's just, you're right. I don't think people are ready for it.
Yeah, people aren't ready to hear about how I murdered an alien. Come on.
Actually come out. Maybe
it's too late, Jason. You already said it all. It's already out in public.
No, I didn't. I think, you guys are evidence that it's not out. That we're not to disclosure. But we'll see how it goes.
You can't say that I don't. So we can all do this, and that's the problem. That unless someone comes and says, well, look, I've got this evidence. At the very least, you've said, go to Congress and everywhere else. Those people you should name. Who it was at Congress you've talked to. Who it is that's investigated your case. And start giving some sense.
Name names.
Thing, which should be objectively provable.
He can't name names because he probably never talked
names
to
of people you've actually
anybody
spoken to in government. That would start. So I think you should at least try to present some of that, because then at least people can say he believes what he's saying. But you can't even establish that at the moment.
Well, they are friends of mine. They do have their own lives. I can ask the committee members if it's okay for me to mention that they were the ones that helped to get me through that day when I went to go testify. I know that I asked them at one point if I could get at least sign-in roster that showed that I was there.
I don't think he ever testified to Congress.
But I've yet to get a response from them for that. So yeah, I could do that. I can actually do that, but I would want their permission first to use their name.
He's never done that,
so that you guys could know.
He's never done it. He's never released that.
But it's the same people David Grush talked to. It's the same committees.
And so yeah, let's go to a little Pop-Tart and then UFO Mean Face.
Yeah.
Hey, so not much of a question, but I just I want to admit at first I was not, I was kind of skeptical, pretty skeptical of of his story because I hadn't heard you speak about it, Jason. But after hearing you speak about it, it made me realize too and think, which made me tend to believe that you might be telling the truth, and I do somewhat believe what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
Is that we do shoot down, even according to Dr. Greer, 2 to 3 craft per year, and 122 total is what Dr. Greer said. How
Citing Dr. Greer as a real information source is kind of ridiculous,
many
but
craft,
okay.
ET craft have been shot down, so we know that these black programs
The
do
patience it
kill
takes to
ETs
interview
that
these
way, and it's
frauds.
not insane to think that
I
you would
agree,
do
yeah.
an actual ET
His
that's
kill
not in his
team,
craft.
yeah, he had a big kill team.
Yeah, that I don't. That's kind of a mystery to me. I know that
this just means that PPP could be a special forces alien assassin. Yes, he could.
I was not
if
part
Jason
of that.
Sands
So
could do
how
it.
often it happens would be a guess on my part, and what they retrieved would be a guess on my part, and where exactly they went out to go retrieve it, I don't know. But those were all things that other people had on my team. Some of them were part of the retrieval team. I was not. So that'd be something.
Oh
that maybe
no!
they could...
Echo Adams with a kind and generous one for the goal says banana sandwich needs proof or it didn't happen. I agree. You need proof of that banana sandwich. They want if he went to members of Congress to testify, it's already public record, so Sands doesn't need their permission. Exactly. His kill team is a bunch of fat guys at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Oh wow, he posts videos in a wow, Little Pop-Tart is his name. Yeah, I heard he did that. That's wild. That's pretty crazy. Pretty out there.
Answer, but I all I know is that the retrieval program is there, and it's designed to be at a moment's notice.
Phil Snyder cut his own fingers off. Why oh why fools? That's not proof.
Craft that they just fly in.
There's
and
documents proving he cut his own fingers off.
They recover these craft, but I think that's more of an acceptable idea for people to understand than having to deal with the mercenary or the threat.
Yeah, they would be afraid of him. I would say.
To me, yeah, it's harder to talk about.
Greer is one of the village people.
I mean, if we see threats in our own world, there are threats off.
Is Pop-Tart a short white or a tall white?
Agree that there are other life forms out there. They also have to police up their bad actors, just like we do. And when they're here on Earth, I don't know why, but they do use some humans to do that. So it's the same thing. It's just one of those things where, if you think your way through it logically, it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, the evidence for it, how do you prove this happens? Well, you either take the people that are telling you the word for it and look at their records, like you've done with me. You talk to me. You're okay about a lot of other things that I say, but yeah, I agree. This is one of the tough areas that I've ever had to deal with.
Yeah, that is a tough area. I murdered aliens.
Certainly didn't help any PTSD problems that I had from all the other crap I had to deal with in the military. But yeah, this is not an easy thing to swallow, and I agree. And I would even agree with you guys that if asked in another interview about this mercenary crap, I'm just not going to address it. But please.
People didn't swallow my alien murder story, so I'm not going to talk about this one no more.
You know your body count?
Jeez, it wasn't very many, maybe a handful.
Okay, like 6, 5, I guess. Okay.
All right, cool. You kind of
he killed multiple aliens.
Hey, Jason.
Sorry.
So I've got a couple of questions real quick. First of all, I think it takes a lot of balls to come into these spaces and answer this honestly.
Even Lazar is more convincing than this goof.
Definitely held to the fire, so it is commendable. The questions
Body
I have
count,
are,
rude.
one, did you
she meant how many aliens did he murder?
Greer, and when was that?
Yeah, I've spoken to him a few times. Yeah, he's got a pretty big database.
Okay. And
yeah, he's got a big database of bullshit and no proof.
Who was your liaison?
Greer was more convincing back in the day. Yeah. The longer he goes on lying, the more obvious it is that he's lying.
Sorry. 3, you did mention at times that people were trying to control your story. You did mention Corbell and a bunch of others that were hitting you up when you came into spaces and the frustration.
Oh,
and
that's interesting.
You weren't able to go into detail
Sandra.
about that. Can you go more into detail about it now that the documentary is out and you've come out as who you are?
Yeah, as a computer guy, he had to install McAfee a bunch of times. It was very traumatic for him being in the Air Force, sitting at a desk.
Congressional committee members. They were the ones who initially interviewed me, looked up my clearance and all that good stuff. So I actually interviewed them over the phone while I was still working down in Pensacola, teaching cyberspace stuff. And that's when it all started back in 22. So in 22, then October, I get a call from a committee member asking me if I'll come. And I said, yes, that's what I feel like I have to do. And so he said, okay, we're going to do this pretty quickly here. So within about a month or so, I was flying back to Washington to go give them the testimony.
I don't believe he actually testified to any members of Congress.
Again?
That would be public record. It's not.
It was earlier people controlling your story.
Controlling my story. Yeah. That
and like who was that, and what was the purpose? Like why were they so hands-on with what you wanted?
It wasn't so much that I had a problem with what they wanted me to do. Let me put it that way. It was the fact that the timing sucked, because if you recall, the way that I came out at the time, I was still trying to finish my last legal wicket to go public, which was my DOPSR or my pre-publication request as to what I could talk about publicly.
Oh, come on.
So that had not been finished. However, on New Year's of 2023, that was something that I found very, I don't know, it changed the way I thought about how I'd have to go public, because James Fox had accidentally put the clapperboard behind.
Yeah, James Fox outed him before everybody knew who he was.
And that aspect, and I still couldn't speak publicly because my DOPSR request wasn't to come until March. I think March.
That's interesting. Double Tap Ranger Outdoors with another one for the goal. He's the MVP of Super Chats tonight. Says everyone knows their body count, let alone shooting an alien. Yeah, wouldn't you know how many times they sent you to shoot the alien, Double Tap? Good point. It's absolutely ridiculous that he doesn't remember. Oh, I don't know, a handful. You don't remember how many aliens you murdered? Come on, bro.
Which is when they finally approved it. So I had to keep my mouth shut from January, February on. After that occurred, I mean, and James, I love the guy. I mean, he did what he was. I mean, I'm kind of glad he did that.
Honestly, Lou Elizondo's in the line.
Because it did force me to come out a bit earlier.
He's going to threaten to sue me.
About, these plans that people had for me, because
thank you,
everybody
Double Tap.
has, been doing this, interviewing people that come forward in the UAP community, and this is the way they do it. Corbell had his way has his own style.
Yeah, can you imagine Sands trying to kick a door in? I see it going badly.
This and this.
Shut up! He's Special Forces alien assassin.
All of that kind of went.
He's a Special Forces alien assassin.
And I felt a strong compunction to kind of correct some of the things that were going around, because I'm like, no, I didn't quite. That's not quite right. That's
Lou Elizondo's here, and he's had a few cold ones.
Correct all of those things, and it was a very respectful space when I came out in March. I think that's March when I did that, and it was just a good space. I felt like I could contribute. I was very happy that week because I had gotten my DOPSR request finished, and I knew what I could talk about, and I felt it was a good time to come forward, and that's how it all fell out.
Awesome, thank you. And if you just indulge me one more, I'm really sorry, guys. So you have mentioned that after you came out, you were receiving phone calls from people like Grush and company. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And was there a contact at the NGA that you were speaking to?
National Geospatial Agency?
Not Grush.
Yeah, I know a lot of people from NGA, honestly. But yeah, there were several people. I think a lot of Intel folks, too, that were on the UAP Task Force Forum were also NGA. And just literally the whole freaking slew of interagency people started contacting me. Yeah, and they'd been contacting me for like almost a whole year and a half beforehand. When
again, there would be
I was
public
just going
records
through
of
the
that.
intel channels and talking to people there about this, that, the other. You got to understand that before I even got put forward by the UAP task force as a person that the Congress wanted to talk to, I was on the UAP task force forum, and that's where the intel community had a lot of questions for me, just like you guys did. And they are actually tougher about their questions than you guys are.
Oh, come on.
Very scientific
the UAP task force are not scientific people. They were wackadoos.
So that's when it all really started, was when it was probably 2021, actually, when that whole journey started for me. But yeah, the whole thing, the vetting process, all of that ensued thereafter. So again, that's how things went for me chronologically. But
okay, great, thank you. I mean, I would like to know more about your relationship with Greer, but I feel like I'm hogging the platform, so I'll let other people ask questions. Thanks a lot for coming to Spaces, Jason.
Yeah, no problem.
I think they were really good questions.
Somebody sent me an interesting Reddit link, and we'll share that in a moment here. Let's change to this small. This is interesting. This is from the Reddit UFOs subreddit. To clear the air for anyone who saw the Joe Rogan interview with Jason Sands, he has claimed in the past to be a literal time traveler and an alien assassin. Think about that for a second. Here we go.
Just to get out of the way, there was a little bit of controversy a couple months ago. You were in like a Twitter forum, and you already addressed the question of, someone asked you, were you part of the UAP task force? You already clarified that. You said no, you're part of the UAP forum, not the task force. So we don't need to belabor that. But the question I wanted to ask you is, there was an interesting question back in that forum. Someone asked you about 20 and back, and I think you said something to the effect that something like that is real, but it's not called that. Could you elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, it was later on in that same interview. I readdressed the 20 and back commentary.
He's repeating Corey Good stories.
The day of
that we know are
first
totally
interview
fake.
I had never really researched what 20 and back was all about. I didn't even know who called it. All I knew about it was some sort of a mercenary, dirty work kind of a program. So yes, I did experience a dirty work program, but I did explain in that first interview that, yeah, that was what I did. They made me do some dirty work for them.
Dirty work.
When I had to exit the program, that was the deal. It was either that or something bad would happen to me or my family.
Can you elaborate on what that dirty work constituted?
Well, it was kind of very strange. I feel like it was part of maybe an NHI program that they utilize humans, to do things for them. That
the aliens sent him to murder the other aliens.
Involved kind of being, taken from your bed in the middle of the night, unconscious, and the next thing you're waking up and you've got some work for them to do. They tell you you're going over here, you're going to go in that cave, here's a gun, whatever's in there, kill it, and that's kind of how they rolled.
Go in that cave and kill whatever's in there, alien assassin.
And you either did it or you knew bad things would happen to you or your family. And that's kind of how it went. But it was usually in the dead of night, that kind of a thing.
And you were a part of that.
Yeah.
And when you say kill it, what exactly would you be referencing potentially?
I guess the team that I was on, we killed other NHI for whoever was in charge. I never got to see who was actually in charge of that program. I was only told, do what they say.
Yeah, just go in that cave and kill that alien. Don't worry about who the bosses of the program are.
Otherwise, you're never going to go see your family again. That was kind of the attitude. So,
wow, something else.
That's what I did. I just did what I could, survived it all, just so I could get back to my family, and that was kind of how it rolled.
I see. Thank you for that.
Of course, that's UFO Jesus. He's another fucking wackadoo. We'll go back to the Twitter Spaces.
Questions. Let's go to Greiter.
Yeah, what happens when you shoot an alien? Good question. Yeah.
Greater.
Can I pass, and then I'll go after the next guy? Thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Go to Somber and then to Tim, and then back to Grider.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of follow
Yeah,
up
the
on
task
the
force people
previous
basically
question,
admitted it was just a hobby.
in terms of like during the program. What were your applicable skills that would put you in the room with the aliens and all that kind of stuff, where you're seeing levers and all that?
Can you say that again?
Even though Corey made it all up,
What
a
were
bunch
your
still talk as though it's
your
real.
applicable skills that got you into like a room full of guys with levers?
Goober's
like
tiring.
the alien lab or whatever.
I do have a martial arts background. One of the first things that they did with me when they were inviting me into the program.
Oh, he took karate. That means he's qualified to kill aliens.
If you look at my 214 that I provided already on X, you see that I also have a marksman ribbon, which means technically that puts you in the top end of people's accuracy with weapons.
Oh, he's definitely,
and for me particularly with the rifle.
He's got a sharpshooter certificate, so he's definitely
at.
qualified to kill aliens.
All
That and karate classes? Whoa.
Early on when they recruited
he's basically special forces.
And pretty soon after that, they
martial arts
about this recovery
martial
program,
artist for fighting aliens. Yes, martial arts for fighting aliens.
There's some concerns there about can you defend yourself in a fight, that kind of thing. Was definitely something they were looking at, I think, because they were looking at my weapons proficiency as well as a little bit of my martial arts background.
Yeah, I got a marksman's ribbon. I could definitely kill those aliens for you, sir.
Thank you.
I got a question, a more general question for you, Jason. What do you think is going to happen with this Greer versus Elizondo battle we're kind of seeing?
Oh, geez. The one thing I've really been loath is about all the bad blood in the UAP community. It's kind of like we all want the same thing, but we just have to fight about it and keep cutting each other up. And I feel that's kind of what Lou and Greer are going through right now. And I kind of get it because, Lou does things his way, Greer's doing it his way. And I think between the two of them, they just don't see eye to eye enough on everything. And I think recently there's been some issues that came across both of them that caused this riff, is that they just didn't see eye to eye on it already, and now the issue is in front of them. They can't avoid it anymore, and it's led to some problems. And I think it's not just them, it's probably some other people in the UAP community. I've seen it this past year as well, where they've had a bit of a rift. But I think it's mainly just
a bit of a
professional opinions, because Greer has his take on things, and Lou definitely has his. And I've seen that, and I don't know what to do. It's up to them whether they want to reconcile and get on with things.
What side are you on, Jason?
Me, I like them both. I don't agree wholeheartedly with either of them, 100%, but I do agree with a lot with both of them. Like Lou, he's my hero. He's the one who came forward. He's the one who stepped up first, at least, that I consider.
Wow.
And then Greer, on the other hand, he was there a long. He's been studying this for so many years.
No, he's been grifting this for so many years.
But I also see how they've gotten bagged on for different things. Greer for asking for money to have people come out to his ranch or whatever, and Lou getting bagged on about his involvement with OSAP and ATIP and all this stuff, and what really happened.
What really happened is
he lied. He made up a fake program.
Well, see, I don't even know. He's
Investigation
actually
program.
shown the documentation where he was actually hired by both, but
he should probably show everybody else that though, Jason, right? Because he's been pretty much called out for not doing that. That's a pretty big problem. I do have a question from the audience, and this is going to be kind of a personal question, Jason. Probably less personal than you telling us that you flew in a helicopter and fought a alien in a cave or something. But
yeah, please don't go there again. We don't need that anymore.
No, if you don't mind, were you paid to be in James Fox's documentary?
No, did it totally for free.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that means he's a moron.
Okay. And is there anything that's happening in the community where you're getting money from the community based on the claims you're making?
I've only asked for help from my friends and my family because it's been hard to put the bills together. But thankfully,
yeah, he had a public GoFundMe. He's lying through his teeth here. If you post a public GoFundMe and ask everybody for money, that's not asking your friends and family for money. That's asking everybody for money so that you can tell your sci-fi fiction stories with no evidence. It's ridiculous.
So I'm okay, but
I understand that, man. I'm in between jobs myself right now.
But yeah.
Which is why you can go to buymeacoffee.com/UFO Shane and this, guys.
Yeah. I've had other people, though, I'll be honest, that, other people are wanting to set up a fund for people like myself and David Grush and other people that have suffered reprisals, because there is no way to, get a lawyer for free unless a lawyer honestly is that involved, which we do thankfully have some of those types, but they're very task saturated. A lot of people are asking them for stuff.
Well, what hold on. What documents did Elizondo show you that proved
correct,
to you
Caleb.
that he was director of ATIP?
I would want to talk to him first if I ever.
Lou Elizondo says Greer is a grifter.
Were official documents, and they had his name on it.
Government documents?
Yeah,
he really needs that money.
Very governmental. Yeah.
Yes, the grifting is out of control.
Governmental, like Harry Reid governmental, or actual governmental?
Again, let me talk to them about it first before I go.
Oh, I can't.
Because I think you're talking about the Harry Reid letter, because that's public, and he was retired many years afterwards.
Also,
and he had cancer.
To add to what Arthur's saying, Lou Elizondo is known for pulling out his phone or doing these things and trying to show these people to give him more. He's known for doing this. There's tons of people who have met him that he's done this to. So you might be falling victim to that, Jason. I don't trust Lou Elizondo as far as I can see him, man. That's because he lied. I don't like liars, Jason. We know this, though.
And he's connected to deep
David
state.
Grush, it's been 791 days.
Trump was
still no evidence.
Threat to democracy, and he's been with Jacques Vallée and Kit Green. We know this whole crew, and we know they're dirty, Jason, and you should know that too.
Well, I know that I've had to watch myself around certain individuals. Lou's not one of them. I mean,
you should write a cool story first. Absolutely,
him and I that we agree to, and
like
the other parts we don't agree to
on their own.
Usually that's what friendship's based on. I mean, I've never had a friend that I agreed wholeheartedly with, but
yes, Arlene is sharing our Truth Seekers Clips channel. We're still trying desperately to get it monetized so we can praise the cash over there. So please do go over to the Clips channel if you haven't already. And if you go over to the Clips channel and you subscribe, please put in all capital letters, I subscribe to the Clips channel. I'll give you a big shout out and thank you. It's pinned in the YouTube live chat. And I will go over to the Kick Live chat and put it in over there as well. And we'll check in with the Kick support, see if we have any more kind and generous benefactors on Kick. Nope, last one is still Scooter the Pooter. So we will continue. Let me, boy, we're not even halfway through this.
There are some people that I know are out to.
I think we're going to get to the halfway point, and if people really want me to, we'll do the other half another day this week or next week.
To get me and get him, and that's all they think about, or it seems to be like that's all they think about. But that's why I'm glad you guys are actually letting me talk about this in a respectful manner now. I mean, it started off a bit rough, but we've got to a better spot now. But that doesn't happen for everybody, and I don't know. I think that's something that even, amongst all the UAP people that are, famous, that they've had to deal with that backlash. And some of them respond okay to it. I like to think that I'm absorbing it well. I mean, I didn't have to engage in this today with you guys, but I did. I chose to because I'm like, no, they deserve to have some answers.
Yeah, right.
What I can tell them.
He's trying to control.
But not everybody that I know that are, leaders in the UAP community can do that. Some of them have.
Oh, he's a leader now
and they refuse
in the UAP community
many times, never to ever do a podcast. They will only go to like a mainstream, like CNN.
They're cowards, Jason. They're cowards.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
That's
it's just
true.
They have their likes and dislikes. Just like I can't make you.
They think they're better than us. They're in the invisible college. They talk amongst themselves, the civilized people.
Yeah, the
and they
invisible
won't come
college.
and mix with it.
Don't you worry, Arthur. You see, if you look down at the bottom, we got 90 anonymous listeners. Hi, Jeremy Corbell. Like, hello, everyone. I know you're here.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
I know what y'all do.
It's just one of those things where, everybody's got their things that they're able to do and things you can't do. It's just like, I can't make you go to church if you don't want to be there. It's the same thing.
Thank God. By the way, Chris Mellon, I would not accuse him of being deep state just because he thinks Trump is a threat to democracy.
No. Definitely deep state.
So many people.
Oh, come on. Mellon is the Mellon banking family. Of course he's deep state.
He's about as deep state as you can get.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, for most of the people that I've dealt with, including my own experience.
Hey there. C. Jeffrey86 became a subscriber to our Clips channel. Big shout out to C. Jeffrey86. Who else is going to become a subscriber tonight?
Don't allow. whereas a similar person.
Caleb Keppel became a subscriber to the Clips channel. Big ups, thank you.
Be confronted
Let's
with the
get
same
some more.
things, and they will think totally different about it and be more acceptable to doing certain things. And I think that's really what we're looking at here is that
is the invisible college affordable? No, you have to empty your pockets to some of those clowns to get in. So
go ahead, Grider.
Archaic Revival says the first and last time I ever heard of this guy.
I was looking at your DD214. When you went to, was that JPOC that you went to?
Yeah.
In 2002 in November.
Yeah.
Was that in Florida, right? Was that like it's like the 1 week course down there in Florida?
Yeah, that's right. It's on Hurlburt Field. Yeah, I went there because that's when I was in Hawaii. That's when I actually got my U identifier to become a joint planner, and I was working in Hawaii.
Hear that, you sinners? This is Alien Church.
Years away from the program by then.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I was doing planning at the time.
So are you saying? Okay, and then it looks like you went and you did like some Asian.
Pacific.
You did some stuff in the Asian Pacific Theater.
Yeah, the APOC. Yeah.
Or you at least had a course on it.
Yeah, because
what was that like?
It wasn't as in depth as I thought it would be, but it was more like the cultures. It kind of gives you a general overview and that kind of thing. I actually learned more just from reading intelligence reports when I got back in garrison. But yeah, those were the two just requisite courses after you go through the information operations and integration course, which is the one I graduated from. And they also sent me to JPOC and APOC because I was in Hawaii. That's the area of the world I was to be planning and being concerned about with all.
See, this is what all these military guys do. They talk up their military service and they're trading credentials for credibility. Like, I was in the military, so therefore, it's almost as if people in the UFO community think just because somebody was in the military, they can't be lying. Like, as if nobody that's ever been in the military lies, right? It's ridiculous.
Threats.
Okay, and then when did you go into the program? Was it? I mean, it was sometime after that, and
no.
You retired in 2007, correct?
Yeah. So when I was in the program, that was like 1990 to 1990. No, 1991 to 1994.
So he was in the program for 3 years, but he only killed 6 aliens?
And I got married the first year I was in the program. Then I was kicked out of the program in 1994. And
yes,
I continued.
Darkside Phil calls my show the UFO Weirdo UFO Guy Show.
Then I went to RAF Mildenhall for my next duty station. I was there for 6 years, and I was just an intel guy at that point.
Yeah, I know everything, but I can't tell you. It's classified.
Sure, and all that good stuff. I continued to learn how to program. And then.
So what was your rank when they recruited you? Like,
I was a staff sergeant.
It looks like okay. So you were an E6 in 1990.
E5.
When did you go into the service? Okay, so you were an E5.
I went into the service in 85, delayed enlistment. So September of 85 is the date that they did the pay date, but I actually didn't go to boot camp.
Nice, man. So you made rank pretty fast.
Yeah. So I went through.
It's classified as hell. Yes. Orange
camp,
grunge era grifting.
January.
Yes, he was the grunge grifter.
That's when I
wonder what his wife thinks about this. She probably thinks he's a wackadoo.
Delayed enlistment program back then. That was what I got paid a little bit ahead of time. But yeah, I did go up rank pretty quick. They had their eyes on me for senior master sergeant and chief master sergeant, but things got too political. I just wanted to get out of the military.
I hear you. Yeah, man, the politics in the military get bad when you get up there in rank.
Yeah.
Can you describe, like, what was your day like? Can you just run us through, like, a typical day when you're
killing aliens?
In the program?
Yes.
Yeah, and I assume that you were an E5. Like, what was your day like? Like, what I mean, from like, did you guys do PT in the morning, or was it just like you kind of showed up at 9? Like,
no, what
was your typical day like in the program?
No, in the 90s, that was when in the Air Force, at least, that we didn't have like a daily routine for PT. We did do our run every year. You had to run your 1.5 miles.
You had to do physical training.
So if you didn't do any jogging throughout the year, you practically die. But you had to do so many push-ups, sit-ups, run for 1.5 miles and all that stuff. So anyway, the routine, I'll give you a day like, that starts off normal. and then ends up being part of the program. So my normal day would have been, if I was doing the aircrew training uprange on the Nellis test range, I would be driving.
So he's doing aircrew training, and then what? They just call him up out of the blue, and they go, "We got another alien in a cave. We need you to go murder him."
Driving up for at least 2.5 hours to get all the way up range, get checked into the hotel over the weekend, and then that Monday we would be driving all down the dirt roads onto the test range to go do our work up at Black Mountain. Then you come back and you do that for 2 weeks, and then you go back to home station and you begin your work. Now, if I'm doing the telephone monitoring stuff, I would be sent anywhere in the continental United States. I could go to Minot Air Force Base. I could go to Washington, D.C. I could go to Texas. I could go to wherever. And I would conduct telecommunications monitoring assessments, and I would debrief people that were at those installations and the staff that the commanders wanted to hear.
Okay, so now he's doing debriefings and writing
also
briefings
finish up
for
our
commanders
reports after 90 days and give them a final report. And that was exactly the same.
That's like a jack of all trades position. I mean, that's wow. So that was all that was the same MOS, like the same job.
Yes, at that time,
that was like the exact. I mean,
yeah,
really.
But in 1995, though, my commander decided that doing with the flag exercises on Nellis Test Range was no longer a viable thing, and he thought he could save about $4 million by abolishing it out of our career field, and that's exactly what he did. So after 1996, it was no longer a mission for my career field, but they still do have people that do help train up there. Anyway, so then
I want to know what training he got to kill and murder aliens.
The monitoring mission. So say I went home after.
Did they just send you into a cave with a gun? You don't get any special training for how to deal with the alien threats, right? This is something else, right?
A normal monitoring mission. I'm back at home station. It's a Friday night. I get a call from the team leader, and he would say, "Have your bags packed. We're going to be there at 6 o'clock to pick you up from the barracks."
That's about the only way he's ever going to be cut.
Okay.
What was his rank?
Starts taking roids,
he was,
bro.
Was it like a E7, E8?
He was, yeah. I think
no special armor to protect against space goo.
We were all about the same rank.
Yeah. What about space?
E5, E6,
space spooge. What if the alien spooges all over you?
That's who we were. The four analysts, me and the three other guys. That's what rank we were. We were right around that E5 enlisted corps team. And we were handled.
He probably got 302 down in the military as a crazy person.
But anyway, so I get a call. Let's say
his military buddies are laughing at this guy
on a Friday.
I believe.
Get a call. Have your bags packed. We're going to come pick you up at 6 a.m. We're going to go to McCarran Airport, and we'll tell you where we're going when we get there.
Oh.
So that's how we'd roll.
Then I'd go kill aliens.
And then you do your 2-week mission monitoring the telephones of these clandestine program locations, like at Wright-Patterson, White Sands, you name it, Eglin Air Force Base. There's all these different locations we went to all over the place. And we would.
And then they would where would the assassination, where would the the kill team, where did that fit in? Was that around the same time? I'm just trying to get.
I never was on the kill.
Yeah,
I was never on
kind
the
of picture of the timeline.
I never did the dirty work until they excommunicated me from the program. It was
okay.
In other words,
okay, so that was like the kind of like.
I think what happened.
That was punishment.
Yes, it was a punishment because that was the deal my friends made, who were analysts just like me. They were the ones. They told me literally, with a very serious look on their face, "Stay in the truck." That's exactly what they told me. And they said, "Give me your badge." And they went in, and they were there for, good grief, over an hour. They came back out, and they were pale as ghosts, and they just said, "Yeah, man, that wasn't fun." And I said, "Why?" And they said, "They really wanted to kill you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I bet they did." And I was laughing about it. Like,
the aliens really wanted to kill them.
No,
man, that's horrible. That's horrible.
We mean they physically wanted to kill you, Jason. You don't understand. And I was
they wanted to kill him.
Really fucked up. So
the superiors, not the aliens.
Anyway,
getting loopy here.
Yeah, and then the next week they showed up and said, "We got one more thing we have to do with you." And that's when they took me to this S2 location on the Nellis Test Range, and that's when the bad shit started.
Can you tell me? Okay, so just the last question, and then thank you for answering my questions.
And the aliens just happen to be hanging out around military bases where they're. If you're an alien and you know they're trying to kill you, wouldn't you go away from the military bases so they can't kill you easily? Again, another stupid point that logic destroys.
The last question is, like, I'm very curious about you said it was an alien, it was an extraterrestrial weapon that, I don't know if you described it as a gun, but it was a weapon that you,
Okay,
had to
Revival
execute
says this guy
aliens with. Can
sounds
you
so
just,
dumb. Not even
had
young
you
kids
trained
will
on that
enjoy his
weapon before?
stories.
Did you guys go to the range?
Oh, look, I'll
very
get.
much. It was
did
exactly
you have
like
any type of training?
No, it didn't require any of that. Because
Oh yeah, they just gave you an alien rifle and they gave you no training whatsoever. Then they sent you to kill an alien with an alien rifle that you've never fired before. Sounds legit.
It had a trigger mechanism and it looked like a rifle for the most part, but it didn't shoot bullets.
Were you issued this weapon?
Huh?
Like, were you issued this weapon? Was
they would
was
give
this
it to
your
me,
issue weapon?
Yes. On route to our ingress point, they would issue our weapons to us. Yes.
What type of ammunition did it take? Did it take a cartridge?
It was some
Did it
kind
take
of
a mag?
kinetic thing. To me, it was kinetic. It had to be kinetic of some kind.
A kinetic alien.
What was the recoil
rifle.
like on that? Like, was it?
There was zero recoil.
Was there any
Honestly, to tell you the truth,
zero?
I did
Wow.
not feel a recoil at all when I was using it.
And
But man,
you say that you do
whatever
not
it hit, it
remember
destroyed.
how many.
Whatever it hit. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Oh wow. You say that you do not recall the number of. I know this. I mean, this is a sensitive thing to ask, man, and I really hate to ask it. I really don't want to ask, but for clarification, you said that you do not remember the exact number of living aliens that you were forced to.
How do you not remember
exterminate?
how many aliens you were
Right.
forced
You don't
to
recall
kill?
the exact number?
Let me think. Well, I could if I just. Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, I mean, because
two,
it's something you don't really.
3, at least 3 that I know of. There were never a lot. It wasn't like hordes of these things, but when I remember when I was in their presence, it was like you could feel the hatred.
Yeah,
at
man,
a
that's
certain
horrible.
distance. It was like telepathically. These
they
beings'
communicate
attitude
telepathically.
was just pure hatred. When it's like walking into the room and the party poopers there. That's what it felt like.
They were
Just
alien
that
party
ominous feeling,
poopers.
oh, shit,
Well, yeah,
I hear
you're
you.
about to kill them.
Well,
I imagine you're too happy.
thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service
I'll go
killing
drop
those
down.
aliens.
Yeah.
What a
Take care.
fucking moron.
Okay.
Thanks for killing the aliens for us, Jason
why is it that you
Sands.
can't remember how many exactly? I feel like I would remember that. You know what I mean?
Well,
3.
I think I do remember 3 of them. 2 in one location in a cavern, and another one in a cell, a prisoner cell, that they
He got a
literally were
kinetic
telling me
rifle to kill aliens with. Yes.
But I refused to do so.
It fired
Somebody else
angry
put a bullet in their
dildos.
head, so
Yes.
I saw that guy die, or that NHI die, and so there's 3 total that I remember seeing dead.
We killed 3 aliens.
All right.
Yes, this is live.
Somber?
Yes, we are live. Yes, the only if you see TS Classics, you know it's a replay. Otherwise, we're always live.
Did
Most of the
you
shows
do
are
that
live.
drawing in James Fox's documentary? That was your
Yes.
drawing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he asked me for it,
you
and
have
I
some good
provided it.
values, and it looks like you're a pretty decent drawer. But I was curious, would you be willing to do some drawings of that gun that you're talking about that you had used, that rifle type gun? And then would you be willing to do drawings of the aliens that you had to kill?
Yeah, I think I've already. Well, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, there's
I
already
wanna see what
existing
Crab
artwork
Lobster
that
wants to
shows
do.
the type of aliens that I encountered. But the rifle, I'd have to hand draw that. Yeah.
So
I could
that
probably
one.
do that.
Hold on, sorry,
Go
just
ahead,
one
Tim,
quick thing.
No, go ahead, Tim. You go ahead. Tim, you go ahead.
So that one alien hybrid, you referred to it as, you thought it might be a hybrid, right? The one that
Oh,
you saw
now
in
he's
the
killing
desert,
alien
that's alien
hybrids
craft.
too. Halo
Right.
You're
knockoff
saying
incoming.
that
Yeah,
is
they
the
all
same
rip off
type of
alien.
alien or
Yeah.
hybrid creature
Tony
that you had to kill
Hugecock.
3 times.
No.
Yeah, show us the drawings.
Oh,
He
okay.
never
So would you
produced the
be able to
drawings
draw
of the
sketches of
rifle.
those?
He's
Do you
trying to
have
run
those?
away from this I killed
Yeah,
alien
I can do
story
that with
now.
the ones in the cavern mostly. The one that was in the prison cell, it was kind of dark. I'd have a rougher time, but
Anybody else would have already
typically, to me,
drawn
it
them
looked
so
like
they
a
don't
gray
lose the
alien
image
that
in
I'd
their
seen.
mind. I agree.
pictures of many times. Very, very much like a gray area alien.
Very juvenile. The sketchbook of a high school kid with guns and aliens.
Body,
yeah,
which was very
I agree.
unlike the guy I met in the desert, who looked like a normal human for the most part, other than his ears and eyes, and he was hairless.
Hairless.
And he had
alien.
that bluish tint to his skin, but he was more like an albino with some bluish tint. So I really want to try to correct that, because a lot of people are saying blue, and really what I mean to say is it's a blue tint like we get when you've got you're really cold. So he looked like he had albino. He was like an albino skinned, very light colored white person. Is really what it equates to, with a blue undertone.
Drawing a conclusion
like
of Bullock.
Navy blue, shockingly blue kind of skin. No, he looked more.
So he didn't look like a Smurf or nothing.
No, not at all. He looked more like a human tone of a very light color with blue undertone.
Oh, well, glad we clarified that.
The
alien he met was not blue. He had a blue tint to him.
Here, man. And thank you for staying around as long as you have. I hope you stay longer. I'm just going to sit back, kind of moderate this, and we're going to get back to the
Space Gun from a 1980s B movie. Yes.
Somber.
Yep. Somber. Okay. Somber, you go ahead, and then we'll do Mellow Demon, Average Chris, Quest Spectre, and yeah.
Oh, Average Chris is coming on to
before
just
this and like your career and everything. Have you ever killed a man before? Or anything?
No, I've had to pull my weapon out twice, and was ready to drop somebody. But they were the ones
this guy is skyrocketing up.
Mainly to break up
most hated grifter. He just passed Grush on his way to Lazar. Says Chicago Mike.
Again, because they were the ones who kind of helped provide some of the martial arts and weapons training early on in my life.
You don't remember their eyes or anything? You shot a bunch. You killed some things, but you don't remember
the blue undertone. Good, not a little green man.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember.
Usually, it would make it easy to number it because you're not going to forget something like that normally.
No, I don't.
Unless you're like a sociopath.
I don't
or something
forget
crazy.
any of that. I can actually picture it to this day. It was traumatic. It
was traumatic meeting the aliens.
Remember how cold it was outside the cavern.
Killing the aliens.
I remember the feeling
traumatic.
I got walking within about 50 yards from these entities as we came into the cavern and discovered them in a
shoot any space
open
space bugs.
I remember all that. But yeah, I'll try to find some.
That's where it just gets hard. That in the marksman
man
thing,
shoots human thinking he was killing an alien from his dreams.
No, I
weapon,
didn't feel like
you didn't even get familiar with it. You don't know where it came from. That's
it wasn't like an AR-15. It was definitely something that was a totally different kind of a weapon, but it did have a very rifle type feel to it. And a trigger, and that's about all there was to it. There was not much to explain. It's kind of like if you totally oversimplified an AR-15, that's what it was. If all you had to do was pick it up and pull the trigger, that's what it was.
Okay, so the space gun looked like an AR-15. The aliens have guns that look just like our guns.
Sure. That's it. That's all.
Okay, we got some more questions here. So go ahead, Average Chris.
All right, so I just got in here a little bit ago. So I got a couple questions. One, we're talking about, you said a guy with bluish tint. Is it possible you just ran across somebody, if this is true, that had hypothermia or something going on?
That's what I thought it was at first. Yeah, exactly.
Here's
That's
Average
what ran
Chris.
through my mind, because as we were approaching him, I was like, crap, this guy's got hypothermia, and I need to get out there and help him before he, he's in big trouble here because he could be dying. And I even said that verbally to the driver of the vehicle. I said, yeah, we got to pull over and help this guy.
Why doesn't he name the driver of the vehicle that can corroborate this story with him? He never has, and he never will, because this is a fake story.
It's like he's suffering from hypothermia, and that's exactly what I thought at first. And then when I stood up and looked right at him, I'm like, holy crap, he's got no ears. Look at the size of those eyes. What the fuck is this? I was like, what the hell did I just run into? With what hit my mind after that.
Sounds like Starship Troopers.
Another question I have is, so going over your background, you might have went over this already. I'm not sure. Were you in aircraft structural maintenance first and then over into signals?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah, that's why that's in.
For those unaware, Average Chris is military, so he's good at interrogating these liars.
Okay.
Former military.
So I just wanted to clarify that, and I don't. I'm not discrediting your 214 at all. So, but as far as signals intelligence, I'm really confused on how you could go from aircraft maintenance to signals intelligence to an alien assassin. I don't understand. Like, so
Well,
there would
well,
just
here you
have to
go.
be.
This
Did
is how
you
I ended up.
qualify? And like, did you qualify? You know, obviously in basic training you have to do, you know, weapons qualifications.
Yeah.
Like, what was? How did they approach you with like killing aliens? Like, how did that all come about?
Well, like I was saying, this was in kind of
Yeah,
a
well, it's my
punishment
house. I bought it, so I'll
because
smoke as
they
much
were
as I
going
want
to
in my
do
house.
worse to
But thank you
me
for your
than making me do
critique.
this mercenary work. But it was because I had fucked up and broke the rules and brought my wife and kids on a mission to go to the zoo over the weekend, and they looked on that as if it was the biggest fuck up in the world. And I just thought, well, if I can't have a wife and kids, I definitely don't care if you kick me out or not, and I thought that's all it was. But they came out of turning in my
Little
badge, and
kids
they looked
aliens?
like
They were going to cut him from the
really
program because he
grave,
was
like
going
they
to the
had suffered a
zoo? Yeah,
really
this makes sense.
heavy butt chewing or something. And that's when I found out that they were actually going to kill me that day and bury my ass in the desert, probably.
Mixed meds.
But my friends had convinced them, you know, is there any other way? And I think that's what they did. Is my friends saved my life that day by making me do this mercenary work and giving me a fighting chance to survive out of it. So it was kind of a kindness on their part, but it still sucked really bad.
Psychosis. Could be.
So
Yeah.
why wouldn't they, as a punishment, just do like they do normally
That
in
is
any
correct.
other intelligence field, especially in the military, and just do something, you know, as far as like, you know, your clearance and restricting it or even revoking it, taking you out of the job? Why would they? I'm kind of confused
Well,
how there's such a
Yeah,
check.
they
your
knew I had a
story
wife and
doesn't make
kids.
sense,
I had 2
dude.
children at the time. When all that happened, and I think they just had compassion on some of that, and that's why they didn't do anything else. They just wanted me to do the dirty work and then move
I
on.
did show your
And
comments.
I
I don't
did
know
for a
what
number of
you're
years. I
crying
kept my
about.
mouth shut. I didn't say nothing. I literally didn't even say anything after I retired for a very long time.
I had
Until,
crazy
you know,
hallucinations
I
once
started
on
seeing the UAP Task
Dilaudid.
Force forum,
I
and I
will
was
never,
like,
I
oh,
don't care if my
you
leg
know,
gets cut
I
off. I
think I
will
can help
not
with
ever
this.
take Dilaudid.
And that's
I
when I
think that's
started
what it's
talking
called.
about it
Ever again. It's a
and trying to
painkiller,
help
but
the
holy
community, and
shit.
that's where I am now. So
Gave me the paranoid
that's
craze
kind of how the
too.
progression was. Now, for the progression between being an airframe mechanic to an intel person, it was just an overmanning issue in the airframe career field at the time. Whenever there's an overage and there's too many people in a career field, that they have, like, you know, X hundred more people than they need to actually fix the aircraft, because the inventory changes, and the next thing you know, you're not fixing as many C-130s as you did the year before. That's kind of what happened to me. And that then you have to go talk to the career counselor, take some tests, and figure out what you qualify for. And I qualified for intelligence, and I had 3 jobs to choose from, and I chose the intelligence one, and that's how I cross-trained out.
Oh,
Went to
so he was in the
Germany for the first
intelligence. So he must be
tour
telling the truth
as
about
an
the
intel
aliens.
guy, or electronic system security analyst. And then I went to Nellis right after that. But in Germany, yeah, I used to hang out with some really rough and tough guys as well.
Oh, yeah. He was with the special forces guys hanging out, talking about killing aliens. Sure.
And that might have caught wind with some of the people as well, that, you know, I did have my martial arts background.
Oh, and he does karate, so he's definitely qualified to kill and murder aliens. Come
And
on.
they were kind of grooming me, or not grooming.
Well, technically, I must be qualified to kill aliens because I took karate for years. Maybe I should try to get a side job murdering aliens, right? This is just so stupid and childish.
But actually watching me, I think, for a good while before they invited me into the program. I think the one thing that precipitated it was, for some reason, I've got this really strange memory for questions and answers, because at the end of
Yeah, I don't
the
like painkillers at
course
all.
evaluations for learning your
After my brain
job,
aneurysm, they try to put me on all kinds of
there was
stuff,
these what they call
Oxycontin, and
volume review
no,
exercises
no,
that
thank
could be
you.
about 150
I'll
to
just deal
300
with the pain.
questions long, and I can read through them for some
He still has
reason,
retirement
and
money. Could be
just
wrong.
once,
Yeah, I would
close the
think.
book, hand the book to somebody else, and I can answer them to 97% accuracy.
I took
And I
Tang
did that in
Sudo.
front of them one day. And
Tang Soo Do is like the more traditional form of Taekwondo. It's like Taekwondo, but there's a lot more kicks in it. My son is taking Shotokan karate because I know that Taekwondo and Tang Soo Do originated from Japanese karate, and I wanted him to get closer to the source material. He's doing very well, my son. He's done better in karate than I ever did. He's got all these trophies in his room and gold medals and bronze medals and silver medals. He does very well at the tournaments in both fighting and in forms. So he's doing great. I think he's going for his blue belt test soon. So I think within a couple of years, my son will be a black belt, and I'll be very proud of him for that. I got to the belt right before black belt, and I never finished my black belt, and I always regretted it. But what happened was, I think I was like 14 or 15 when I quit karate, and by then I had discovered girls. So my time was chasing skirts and not karate tournaments anymore. There's a guy in the front row on Raw with the sign DSP is an awful gamer. Yeah, and there was another person in the front row on some wrestling show, and he had a sign that says with Darkside Phil's face from the May 1st burst, and it said, "What? The camera's been on this whole time? Oh, I didn't know." All right, we'll do just a few more minutes, and then we're going to bounce.
I think they were like, "Oh, he's got a good memory too. Yeah, let's get him on the program." And then the other part of it was just getting to know me as a person, because I didn't know it at the time. But
yeah,
one of the guys actually I drove.
He's so valuable. They put him in a secret program to kill aliens.
We went up range. We started talking about Dreamland, and the next thing I knew, this guy was actually part of the program, and he's part of the team that's asking me to be part of the program. But he really liked me a lot, and I liked him. We got along great. So I think that was another part of the initiation, was whether I got along with them, which I still do. I mean, I really appreciate them. They're very good people. They were just as shocked as I was about some of the stuff we intercepted.
Oh, man.
So what you're saying is people in the signals intelligence field are somehow also can carry weapons and do like missions like you're claiming?
When I first got into the career field, we wore a combat crew badge because we could be deployed to
you're not combat crew though. You're fucking
the front
desk
lines
jockey.
where they have radars. They have to vector in the pilots to their targets.
I tend to be very involved in both my sons' lives and activities.
Then that part of the mission changed.
Right, but you're not being when you're stateside, you're not carrying a weapon.
No, only when you deploy. Usually in the Air Force, you don't walk around with weapons unless you're working the front gate of an installation or something.
That's
or
interesting.
You're deploying.
I can't believe that you actually watch wrestling on purpose.
Or a courier. Those are the only conditions where in the Air Force you get to carry a gun all the time. Is when you're performing one of those jobs.
Or if you're an MP. I think we're going to call it there. Yeah, Spooky, I had guests at the cabin, and all weekend long, that's all everybody was talking about, the guests. My wife's sister and her husband and their child. They were just watching wrestling all weekend. And I don't get it. I don't get grown people. I get children watching wrestling. I understand that, but I don't understand grown people who know it's fake still watching it. It's fascinating to me. But I had a very interesting. We're gonna cut it there. So let's say we made it to 1 hour 23 minutes in. Or let's do 3 more minutes so that we just have an hour left for part 2.
So I was never even in the program. I wasn't issued a gun until after I was put on the mercenary crew to do all the dirty work. That was the only time I got issued.
By vectoring, he means he's spreading those cheeks.
The only other time I handled a gun.
Yeah, we did go fishing, and my son caught 3 fish over the weekend. My wife caught a few fish. Even all my guests.
Last thing here is like
my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law,
I'm an Air Force veteran.
Everybody caught a fish this weekend.
Except
me.
I've been in the circles that you're talking about, and Jason, I'm just going to be completely blunt.
Here we go.
Honest. There's a lot of stuff that you're telling people that's not true. And I know.
But what did I say that's not true?
As a matter of fact, so signals intelligence.
Get him.
Like your career field, the things that you're stating is not true. It's not true. It is completely
Like,
not
what
true.
part of my job did I
Like,
Yeah, be
do?
you guys,
specific.
A mercenary crew.
yeah, so you guys aren't going out in the field and doing
I
missions
don't
where
think
you're
he's an
carrying
entertaining
weapons and
liar.
doing assassinations. That is nothing that you
No.
guys do. And it's not.
In a
You
black
just admitted it.
program,
No,
you
it's
are,
not.
though. That's the whole thing.
Okay, you can't. You're talking about this program. Then that means
Poor
that it's
Chris. Average Chris is trying to like beat him up with logic. Like signals intelligence, that deals with electronic communication. That does not deal with assassination missions. And in a normal world, average Chris is exactly right. You don't send a signals intelligence person on an assassination mission. But this is the fake, made up, false reality bullshit world of Jason Sands where that stuff can happen. So
a real program because signing an NDA, you know that if you're part of a program, you sign an NDA, you can't talk about it or acknowledge it. So
He already went through the
that.
DOSPR
So
process, though, so he can talk about it.
Yes, and that's the reason why.
no, oh yeah, because they look for accuracy on things, right? So what
yeah,
I'm saying
Dobster does not
is
check
I
for
know
accuracy.
fact, and
You
maybe
just
it'll
check to
come
make
out
sure
in
you're
the
not going to
future
reveal
because
classified intel.
I really do think that it's, as an Air Force veteran myself, you're doing us a disservice by saying things like this. That's not true.
Unfalsifiable. You are correct.
And it frustrates me to
Well,
no
I
end
agree that
because
the program didn't run things like the proper Air Force. So in the proper Air Force, I would go out and do the things that you're talking about, where I'd qualify with my AR, and we'd go to the range, and you have to go through there and you clean your gun afterwards, and you give it back to the armory, and you don't see that gun ever again unless you go deploy, and you get a totally different gun anyways. So that I'm very familiar with all those things.
Yeah, that's a good excuse.
Yeah,
No, I
that's
wasn't.
kind of how it
I
goes
just
for
had
a
a
normal
stuck weekend. I didn't catch one fish.
Air Force person. However, there are programs that work with the Special Forces. There are, like another guy that was in my career field, he worked with the JSOC folks. He was required to carry a gun, and he would come in while we were monitoring for JSOC, and he was leading the team, and I would be part of the team, and he would have a sidearm. However, I was not allowed to have a sidearm, but he did. But he was one of the guys in my career field that was allowed to do that.
Yeah, maybe he assassinated people by
so that was in a Black
messing
World
with their electrical goods,
program
giving them a damn good shocking.
That's kind of how it rolls.
AR stands for
You've
alien
got all
rifle.
these little niche things that people don't get exposed to.
He's from the blue
that
chicken
I think
burst.
a lot of people like yourself, where you've just been doing, regular Air Force stuff. Yeah, SIGINT is different. I mean, the SIGINT stuff that was real for me and is right up what you would agree that is proper is that, you go out and you collect signals intelligence, which is what I did. Electronic system security is a career field. 1N6 is what it is now, or something like that, or 1N6, 1N0 have joined into one career field now. I started off in a career field, 209X1, I think it was the first career field identifier. You can look this up. And then after a while, they switched out of that, and we had to get a
after that, we switched out of that, and they sent me into a cave to shoot aliens with an alien rifle energy weapons system.
1N, 1N6 was the next one. So it went 209X1 to 1N6X whatever as the career field.
Bacon pieces is bait.
When I became a master sergeant,
fish bait, bro.
or tech sergeant, they were talking about combining the career fields, and that was still ongoing in 2007 when I exited the Air Force. So they're trying to combine the 1N6 career field with, I believe, the 1N0s because it was the best fit at the time.
Yeah, I call bullshit.
That's kind of how it rolled out.
Yeah,
but
so
there was only 200 people in my career field when I was a 209 because, you've got to go through certain training. You're listening to friendly communications. So you have to be trained not only on collecting signals intelligence, you also have to be trained on Privacy Act and several other things about the different types of, data phones, how to hook those up to the TAP device that we have, how to get that all set up for the missions.
We gotta get back to hands, though. Thank you, Average. You can
discrepancy there, and I got to point that out. So when JSOC guys, especially Special Forces, especially JSOC, intelligence guys do not
low energy fantasy
missions. They work from a distance supporting a mission. So that's another. Well, then Then you just
No, I didn't, because they used
Yes,
No, I didn't, because they used
Yes.
telephones.
Because you're not going out.
No, the guy that.
Yeah, but you're not going
No,
out there.
you weren't there. Let me talk to you.
Special forces would be the
No,
guys.
stop.
Get him.
All right, you're
Stop.
saying
That
you're
is not
killing
an
aliens.
inaccuracy.
You're
You don't
killing
know what you're talking
aliens.
about. Let me tell you.
Yes,
No, you
I
don't.
do.
Did you
I
tap
really
phone?
do
Kind
know
of
what I'm
does know what he's talking about. So
Yeah, I actually do. Yeah, I actually
Okay,
do know
look,
what I'm
no, you don't. Were
even
you a 1
respectfully,
in
you're not
6?
making any sense.
Were you a 1 in 6? Did you
Yeah, you're not
monitor
making any
telephones?
sense. Well, it's 1 in 4 now. So
Okay,
you
good.
got that
So
wrong. It's
when you
1 in 4
monitor
now.
telephones, JSOC does
He
that for their
assassinated them
team.
with mind bullets.
Okay.
Get
They
him.
have a liaison, 1 in 4, 1 in 6, 209, career field guy that knows how to tap phones, listen, or pick up on emails. They are there to protect.
Yeah, but
They
you're
are
not
there
going
to
out.
protect.
You're not
Look,
going
dude,
out on the actual mission.
I went to Fairford.
Average Chris has a very good point. If you're a signals intelligence person, you're working from a distance at a desk. They're not sending you on assassination missions. Jason Sands is completely and totally full of shit. And a real military person in the form of the average Chris knows that he's full of shit, because you don't send a signals intelligence person on an assassination mission of any type, let alone an alien assassination. Yes, he got kinetically butt banged. All right, we made it an hour and a half in. There's 1 hour to go. If you guys really want me to, we'll do the second part as a separate show, because I can't get through another hour of this clown. Sandra is asking, will you ever have a meetup in your mountains? You could let them pick their own rocks for $3,333. Yes, actually, I believe that once I have this other property up and running more properly, once I have the road access issue solved, and once I have a few cabins up on the property, I believe that we're going to do a meetup, a camping weekend where anybody can come. I just have a few requirements. One is I don't want anybody coming up and doing, like crazy drugs. It's a family property. And you got to get there yourself. Otherwise, I will try to buy enough food. We're going to have a big ass cookout and barbecue. And I will also require that if you're going to definitely go, you have to like RSVP. So I know how much food and beverages and all of that stuff. We will do something called Contact in the Mountains, and it's free. So maybe we'll have some speakers and set up like a little stage. I don't know. I think that would be good. And anybody who can make it there is free to attend. And we'll have some extra tents, or bring your own tent or whatever. The few lucky of yous, especially the big donors, will probably get a cabin or a trailer or something. I don't know. This is a little far off in the far-flung future, though. We want to take a moment to remind you again, please do subscribe to the Clips channel. We're still trying very hard to get that channel monetized. I thought it was going to be easy. Turns out, no, it's not easy to get a channel monetized. I forgot how much of a grind it is to get a new channel monetized, but we're still going to do our best to try to get it done. And we have an announcement about the Internet Insanity Circus. For those unaware, besides Truth Seekers, I'm going to be doing a very different kind of a show, but it's still going to be funny and entertaining and interesting. And the Internet Insanity Circus is going to be a live stream show that's only going to be available on Kick. Why Kick? Well, because the censorship is much less on Kick, and also they take only a very small percentage of the money that people send in to support the shows there, where other platforms take as much as 30 or 40% or whatever. So we're going to do the show solely on Kick, and it will have some of the craziest stories and clips you've ever seen on the internet. Like car chases and people getting tased and not bum fights, but fist fights and knockouts and crazy Karens and ghetto shit. It's going to be very interesting. And the format of the show is going to be live show with two hosts. And what I'm going to do, until maybe we'll decide on a permanent host, is that I will be having get like a co-host every show. We're going to do one show a week. So every week there'll be a different co-host with me. And we're excited to announce that we have former Locale Queen host, Grace Thorpe, is going to be one of the guest co-hosts. Again, until we decide on a permanent co-host, or we may just continue to have different people every week. I really have not decided. And one of the other co-hosts here is Lynx, who's also a former Lolcow Queens host. And she says, ready for the Internet Insanity Circus to begin coming soon. Only on kick.com/Truth Seeker Show. And here's Lynx's costume for the circus. She's tried out a bunch of stuff and sent me a lot of interesting photos. So here is the other co-host. So it's going to be like a wild and crazy show, specifically designed for a more mainstream audience. The problem with the UFO and aliens, or even all paranormal genre, is that it's a small subculture of people interested in that. So this show is sort of designed to be a little more mainstream, where anybody can tune in and laugh like hell, because it is going to be a great and funny show. And I've got one more thing here I'll share. Another sort of preview of the Internet Insanity Circus. One of the segments is going to be strange stories. I tried to start this on Truth Seekers, but to be on our channel, so I have these pre-produced. But to be very honest with you, it wasn't the kind of stories for the Truth Seekers crowd. But we are going to be able to recycle those strange stories and play them on the circus. So here's a little preview of some of the kind of things that you're going to see on the Internet Insanity Circus show. And we're going to begin these shows probably the last Saturday in August. They'll be at 8 p.m. Saturday. Let's see. The first show, I believe, will be Saturday, August 30th at 8 p.m. But that is subject to change. We'll give you a little preview here of the Internet Insanity Circus. Let's watch. Right back. Greetings and salutations. I'm Stephen Cambion, and you're watching Strange Stories. Today's story comes to us from Detroit, Michigan. Does anyone else have fond memories of a giant slide when they were a child? For me, I have incredibly fond memories of a giant slide at Dutch Wonderland. Every year when my parents took me there, that was the first ride that I ran to. Couldn't wait to barrel down that slide. At Dutch Wonderland, it's called the Fun Slide, and it's giant, but not quite as giant as the slide at Belle Isle. Many residents of Detroit, Michigan were very happy recently when they heard that the giant slide that they grew up with, knew and loved in Belle Isle, would be refurbished and soon reopened for families all over the area to enjoy. Unfortunately, for people that were some of the first riders after it reopened, things did not go quite as planned. I've reached out to a few of the mothers of those children that were brave enough to take the first ride. Here's what they had to say. I also talked to one of the fathers and showed him a tape of their child who was very brave and one of the first riders. Here's what he had to say. Today's strange story is literally the slide from hell. So for days now, people were posting videos of people brave enough to try this slide. It became a sort of running joke in the area. You got to see this slide to believe it. And you do. Look at this. This is a crazy story. I reached out to park officials who told me that these problems are being addressed and that I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Earlier today, I reached out to park officials who told me two things, both good news. These problems with the slide from hell are being addressed and taken care of. And secondly, there is some good news. No children or adults who were brave enough to ride this slide from hell were seriously injured. But when I asked the official that I was talking to if he would let his children ride the slide, he said, hell no. Until next time, friends, I'm Stephen Cambion, bringing you another strange story.
Y'all ready? Let's get it. Hey, you can break your back on the giant slide. You can even break your neck on the giant slide. You can even bump your head on the giant slide. Then watch your hands and your legs on the giant slide. It's like jumping off a roof on the giant slide. Man, you could lose a tooth on the giant slide. It ain't much you could do on the giant slide. What's going on with this new fucking giant Kids slide? Kids was getting on my nerves, so I sent them to the giant slide. Hold on, baby, it's about to be a giant ride. As you go down, baby, it's about to be a lot of fun. I don't know what happened. All I heard was a lot of crying. It's like the same giant slide we got on as children. This new slide looking like they jumping off of a building. This new slide, you gotta take a Tylenol to get on. If your kids getting on your nerves, make them get on. Still getting on your nerves, so you make them get back on. This new giant slide break necks and backbones. Then you just lay the kids down soon as you get back home. Let my kids get on once and they ain't want to get back on. Hey, you can break your back on the giant slide. You can even break your neck on the giant slide. You can even bump your head on the giant slide. Then watch your hands and your legs on the giant slide. It's like jumping off a roof on the giant slide. Man,
you can break your back on the giant slide. You can even break your neck on the giant slide. You can even bump your head on the giant slide. Watch your hands and your legs on the giant slide. Like jumping off the roof on the giant slide. You can even lose a tooth on the giant slide. It ain't much you can do on the giant slide. Need a Tylenol before you ride the giant slide.
Well, that was something else. The giant slide from hell. And for those who are curious, the issue was when they restored this slide, they did a lot of work to the physical structure. But then one of the people restoring the slide thought it would be a good idea to wax the slide. And so too much wax was the issue. They stripped it down, and now it's pretty, tame. Like, people aren't falling off and busting and smashing down. I just thought it was so funny because when this event actually originally happened, all over TikTok, that's where the compilations came from of people riding it, all over TikTok and, a few other social media sites, Facebook and stuff, Twitter, there were people posting, videos of people almost breaking their necks on this thing. So that's the segment on the Internet Insanity Circus, which we're just going to call Strange Stories. And there'll be weird stories like that, but funny ones. So that's the kind of stuff that you can expect on the Internet Insanity Circus. We'll take a moment to check in with the Kick Live chat. See if we have any more support to call out. We're all caught up on the super chats. No new support on Kick to call out. I'm gonna have to start turning the stream off on Kick. That's what we're gonna have to do. But we'll give some shout outs to the Kick viewers. We've got Scooter the Pooter over there, Winter Soldier, Rex 800 is over there, Pessimist 6455 is over there, Rex Holes 689 I believe is over there. Eye Leveler is over there, Scopely CFO, and that's it. Yeah. And if you gift one sub, you could take second place. If you gift 2 subs on Kick, you could take first place. And I keep saying it, but I really am going to try to figure it out. I'm going to try to figure out the badge system and start giving badges out. Or maybe I'll sell them like Darkside Phil, right? Absolutely. The wax was way off. Yeah. I just thought it was a funny short story. Riding the whip. Yeah. And Arlene, that's interesting. You know about the Dutch Wonderland and the slide there. I got footage of that from YouTube to include because I really do have fond memories. My dad, for whatever actually it was the food there. That's what it was. My dad was a big guy. He loved to eat. And Great Adventure, we would either go to Great Adventure or Dutch Wonderland, but my father preferred to take us to Dutch Wonderland, especially when we were smaller kids because there's more stuff for little guys and less crazy rides. But it was really about the food at Dutch Wonderland. I don't, because you know how when you go to an amusement park, they like rob you for food, like a drink is $6 or what, they rob you. Dutch Wonderland never did that. And Dutch Wonderland also allowed you, when I was a child, they don't allow this anymore. When I was a child, they allowed you to bring a cooler in. So my father would bring one of those rolling coolers and we wouldn't buy any drinks, just food. And the food prices were incredibly reasonable. And somebody's asking, is Dutch Wonderland even open still? Yes, it is. It's still open in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I took my older son there, but I've never taken my younger son there. So in the fall sometime, we're going to take both boys there. Yeah, somewhere we have an old picture of us on the log ride and pictures of the divers. Yeah, my son loved the dive. They have a dive show there. They used to have a dolphin show, but Peter ruined that. So no more dolphin show. I love the dolphin show because if you're a little kid, they would sometimes call up some of the kids to come on stage and even like you could pet the dolphin. So the first time I ever got close to a dolphin was at Dutch Wonderland. I have great memories of Dutch Wonderland. And my father also loved Dutch Wonderland because it was in Lancaster. And my dad was one of those weirdo train guys. Like our whole basement growing up, the entire cellar, we didn't have a basement, it was a cellar. That's what they would call it in Philly, just a stone. You don't have walls or ceilings. It's not finished. It's like stone walls and rafters, but it was an extra space in the home. My father built a train platform that filled the entire fucking basement. That's all he did was buy trains, play with trains like a little kid. Even my grandparents would make fun of him. Like, you still play with trains? You're like 40, But he loved trains. So right next to Dutch Wonderland in Lancaster, Pennsylvania is one of the biggest railroad museums in the United States. And as a train guy, he loved it. I was bored as shit at the train museum. After you see 4 or 5 trains, who cares, And but he would love it. We would spend all day at one, like the train museum, and then so we'd leave on a Friday and go to Dutch Wonderland, and then on a Saturday we'd go to the train museum, and on Sunday we'd go back to Dutch Wonderland. He'd get the 2-day pass. So I have such fond memories of Dutch Wonderland growing up. Hershey Park and Knoebels. I'm not so big on Knoebels, but my dad also loved Hershey Park because that was another place we would go. We would go to Great Adventure, we would go to Dutch Wonderland, and we would go to Hershey Park. But we went to Great Adventure more than any other place because my parents had a summer home in New Jersey, and it was about a half hour to get to Great Adventure, Six Flags Great Adventure. I think it's in Jackson, New Jersey, which is 30 minutes from where their summer home was. So my dad would get us season passes for Great Adventure. And even like when me and my brother were teenagers, he would just drive us there and drop us off. And we had a great time, Fond memories of Great Adventure as well. But I prefer Dutch Wonderland. Dutch Wonderland also had this rocket ride, which is my favorite. You get on this rocket ship, and then the rocket ship would move, and they played a movie, which was so old. It was like from the 70s. But as a kid that was into rockets and spaceships, that was just awesome, right? Used to go to Cedar Point. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. It's funny when you're a kid and doing all those things, you don't realize later like how valuable those memories will be. Me and my brother always had a good time. And then when we were teenagers, we would go to Great Adventure and try to meet girls. So I ended up with a couple of girlfriends from our adventures, early girlfriends from our adventures at Great Adventure. And I remember one lived like, I think she lived like something crazy, like 12 miles from me, from my parents' summer house. And I rode my bike to see her because she was hot. But that was a hell of a bike ride, right? Her dad felt bad for me when he realized how long I had been riding my bike. He drove me home. He put the bike in the back of his pickup and drove me home. I was so happy to not have to pedal back. And then after that, my dad would he would drop me off, or she would come to our house. So good memories. So for now, we have done our due diligence. I'll take a moment to check in with the PayPal pledges, make sure we don't have anything else to call out for those unaware. We thank every single person who sends support our way, whether you send a super chat, a PayPal pledge, buy me a coffee. If you buy some subs on Kick or become a subscriber on Kick, or if you, why is it asking me for passkeys? Just log me in already. No, I have money going out to Spooky in PayPal, but nothing to call out. But we thank all of you for the PayPal pledges because, listen, especially if you're going to send a larger amount, we've had several people send $100 super chats recently. Thank you very much. If you're going to send a large amount, please do send it on PayPal because they only take a few percentage points off of that, and other platforms take 30 or more. So, yeah, insurance liability ended most of those parks in Australia, and Adventure Park Monarch took some souls. Yeah, could be dangerous, right? We also had a place that my father loved to take us to because it was only $1. I'm showing my age, like on off nights. So if you went like Monday through Thursday, you could get into this park. It was called West Point Park for $1, and it was sort of like I always thought of it as like it's like a carnival, but it's permanent. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have any huge rides or anything too crazy, but they had a pavilion and a band would play all night or a DJ. And I love amusement park food or carnival food. You know, how do you not like that? You go get a bloomin' onion, you go get cotton candy, pizza, funnel cake, you know, things like that. Good times. Guy Merritt, why don't you talk to people who are credible, not making a living at this stuff, and ignore the people with the ridiculous stories? We do both. If you check our archive, I have talked to the people that I consider credible, especially people who aren't really out there grifting or making a living. In fact, if I have to talk to somebody who claims to be an experiencer, I give much more credence to somebody who's not trying to sell a book or a documentary. You can check our archive. Just go to past live shows or go to the video section, and you'll see a great deal of interviews I've done with people who I do think are credible and have some good information. But the vast majority of people in this thing are bullshit artists, grifting scumbags, so we cover that as well. I like the part where he just talks stuff and UFOs could come up or not. I don't know if you're talking about me sharing some personal stuff. My grandparents used to take me to caves all the time. Yeah, I've been to Indian Echo Caverns and Crystal Caves in Pennsylvania. I always enjoyed that. That's fun. Yeah. Better than that guest grifter. Yeah, I talk about David Wilcock, and he's the most credible guy around. Sure. Yeah. So listen, we have done our due diligence. I'm going to bounce on out of here. But I will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had thought that Macario, who does the David Wilcock clips for us, got his Twitter account banned again. For those unaware, David Wilcock is sending his flying monkey retards to like mass report this guy, and all he's doing is posting clips of what David Wilcock says on his live stream. So it's ridiculous. But David Wilcock doesn't really want people clipping the things he says on his show or making fun of the clips. So he's trying to stop Macario. But it looks like Macario's account is back. We normally do Wilcock on Monday, but I decided to do the Wackadoo of the week, and let's get it out of the get it off the to-do list. But tomorrow we will return to the wacky world of Wilcock, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope you'll be there with us. Until then, please do visit our website. It's truthseekershow.com. From there, you can get all the latest episodes, whether you want them in audio or video format. I am aware that the audio podcast is behind. I'm hoping to fix that tonight and catch up. There's 3 episodes missing. 4 now after tonight's broadcast ends. So we'll see if we can't get that fixed. Also, be sure to follow me on X or Twitter at Stephen Cambion, or on Facebook. You can visit our Truth Seeker Show Facebook page. But for now, that's all I got for you, friends. But again, I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with a brand new episode of The Wacky World of Wilcock. Hope you'll be here with us. No place I would rather be. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.